everybody, and welcome back to Celebrity with Nene. So today I have Sean, Reese, and Johnny with me, and we're going to be doing a review on Love, Life After Lockup. And the name of the episode from yesterday was Bride or Fugitive. Okay. All right. So the episode it starts off with Nicole and Tia. So Nicole is talking to Tia, and she's crying. And Tia is just trying to console her through her crying. She says that she wants to get married today because it is also their wedding day. And so we also see Deontay. He's getting ready for the wedding. He's gotten himself a tux. Um, yeah, and shoes to match the tux. And let me also add, those shoes were $300 shoes, guys. Look up those shoes. All right, and so he says he wants to talk to Nicole alone, and he feels like if he gets a chance to talk to her alone, she'll change her mind about this wedding, and she'll realize she wants to be married to him. Because he's saying how he always imagined that the day that she's walking down the aisle in a wedding dress, she'd be walking up the aisle to him. So he's still on this whole delusion thing. He still feels like she is scared of Tia, so that's why she's going through with this wedding as well. And so we see Tia. She's looks like at a hotel room. She's getting ready for the wedding, and she opens up about her ex. She says she's been engaged one other time to her ex, and then when she got locked up, her ex moved on with her life. And so she just kind of described how that affected her. She also mentioned that her family won't be coming to the wedding because it was notice such short notice. No, I was getting tied up with that one. And she says that Nicole's family is going to be the only family there, right? And so Deontay is driving like through this park, trying to find the wedding when I don't know how it happened, but he managed to get his car like stuck in it. All right. And so the park rangers have to come and tow his car out. And they also show scenes of Nicole getting dressed with her mom. And I guess I'm assuming that's her stepmom with her. And, she's putting on her makeup and she's worried about the dress, her dress not fitting her properly. Even though I get it, she said it was super tight, but it looked nice on her. You know, I didn't think it looked too little on her. So, what did you guys think of Nicole and Tia and Deontay this week? Oh,
Well, okay. Well, with Deontay, um, no, the fact that she was in the bathroom getting dressed and the
yeah.
toilet had flushed.
Oh,
I thought
yes. I forgot about that. Yes, the toilet did flush.
and yeah, that was kind of tacky. Yeah, 'cause I seen
I'm
she was
just,
in head.
I'm just glad we didn't hear any pee. That's what I'm glad about.
Ah, nah. So I was like, that would be too embarrassing there. They couldn't rent somewhere, get something. I know it's short notice and all, but in a public bathroom
Yeah,
where
I thought
obviously somebody was
could have got a
using the
hotel room
bathroom.
or something, or maybe
I
when the
mean,
girl got there.
she even had the table set up in the
Yeah,
bathroom to put on her makeup.
yeah, the
Right.
table and the
Oh,
mirror. Yes.
that is gross. I was just like, oh my God, that is
Yeah.
so disgusting.
Now one of the
Even worse
stalls
if
did
somebody
have
boo
like
boo.
Yeah.
Right.
did the thing on it. So I wondered they put that on there or was it broke and they didn't want nobody to enter into that one stall. Because once it,
I didn't even notice that.
so, ugh. But and then knucklehead, because you asked me earlier, did I miss Stan? I didn't have to miss Stan because Dante did the Stan.
He
So
did. I did see that because
yeah.
and I forgot to mention. So Deontay, he was very proud of his outfit. He walked out strutting like George Jefferson
Mhm.
out of his apartment, and then he was a little disappointed that there was nobody outside for him to stunt in front of you, as he said.
Uh-huh. And, and if there was ladies out there, he wouldn't have paid them no mind because he all have his mind on Nicole.
Right.
Nicole,
Right.
Nicole, Nicole. Yeah. He remind me of a Candyman. Maybe he say Nicole name 5 times, she'll come. Cause he's just thinking that he gonna go there, show up. She gonna see how good he look, and she gonna just fall in his arms and run away. Saving somebody from somebody that don't want to be saved. or don't need to be safe. So
Right.
yeah, and then her whole way she was acting, just seemed like nerves, just nervous. The fact that it's your wedding day, and so it didn't seem like she was scared of anything or being pressured into anything. And Dante have his mind set that she is scared of Tia, and I'm going to go save her. And the car helped him out by getting stuck some kind of way. Don't know how. And he was talking about it's an act of God.
Yeah. I was like,
Mhm.
how did he do that?
Yeah, because he said it was an act of God, but yeah, he still
Still.
pushed
Right.
on.
Right.
So I just don't understand what's wrong with that dude. Let it go. Walk away.
Yeah, he needs to just let it go.
Hmm.
Let it go. And I did feel bad too because at one point they were showing Tia, and Tia was like, she's happy it's going to be just her and Nicole. There's no more Deonte, no more something else she said. And I was like, Deonte's on the way there,
Hmm. Hmm. Now, I wonder because if his car just got stuck and they pulled it out, why he didn't just get back in his car and drive? No, they needed the drama, for him to be look like he's walking to the place. And was he actually close enough to walk, or did the
Maybe,
police people gave him a
yeah,
ride? You know.
Mhm.
maybe that's what it was. Maybe after standing there, he was able to finally see where the wedding site was because I didn't realize it was such a small wedding because it only looked like there was just a couple of chairs. So it could have been easy for him to maybe not have seen it as he was driving. Then all of a sudden he spotted a couple of chairs and was like, oh, that must be where they're getting married.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to walk in that dirt with those $300 shoes,
Exactly.
nah, nah. Mm-mm-mm.
I'm like, it's gonna be he's gonna have a hard time getting the mud out of those suede shoes.
Mhm.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I want to say is that velvet, but never mind now.
It might
Uh,
have been velvet, yeah.
the what is that? Boomerang? No, that was not for Boomerang. That was on one of the movies. Where the person
I,
looked at the person and was like, "Is that velvet?" But anyway, I
I
passed.
think that was boomerang.
Uh, so
Oh no, that was coming to America.
yeah,
That's
okay,
who it was. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So because that's what I was thinking, but it kind of looked like Corduroy, his jacket.
You know what? That jacket, I was confused because sometimes it looked like it was a little bit wrinkled and a little too big for him, but then sometimes it looked like it fit him fine. So I was like, I don't know what's going on with this jacket.
Uh-huh.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I don't know. I know he was trying to be sharp at a wedding he wasn't even invited to.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah. What did
And
go ahead.
yeah, and how did he know? I mean, I know she posted on Facebook like I'm getting married, but how did he know exactly what park and what
Mm.
time and all that kind of stuff? That just seemed kind of odd, especially since he wasn't invited.
It
Did
does seem
Nicole
odd.
That
really
is true.
tell him?
The producers probably ratted it out.
Or the producers? Like, that's just
Yeah.
nuts.
Or Nicole could have possibly tagged the location. People will tag a location when they post something, so she may have did that.
I
Um,
liked how, well, that would make sense, but he already knew where to go. Like he was already getting dressed. He knew what time to be ready for and all that stuff. You could tag a
Mhm.
location, but do you do it by time? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't tag it in the future.
No,
mm,
You see
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying? Because he already knew.
He,
And I thought that was funny that he was ready for I know that was editor's cut or whatever, because he's getting ready while they're sitting there crying.
yeah.
I was like, y'all know y'all doing that on two different
uh,
days. There's no way that's the same day. But just
And
watching
then
him get
Deontay,
ready.
yeah, then Deontay kept showing his chest. I was like, I get it, you've been
Yeah.
working out, but I'm kind of,
With them dumbass tattoos. Them NWA.
yeah.
Public enemy.
yeah,
You should be
uh,
ashamed of yourself.
uh,
Because you act nothing like
no, no gangster, no
no,
thug there.
no
Mm-mm.
I
gangster.
mean,
I
I
couldn't
just
make
don't
out what
think that's a good idea for a black man to have tatted on himself.
yeah,
That's
I
just,
couldn't make out what was on his belly though. I kept trying to read it because it wasn't the normal thug life, but I couldn't make out what was on his belly. I was reading it, but I just laughed when I saw
I don't.
NWA up there on his chest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Negro,
saw
please.
NWA and I was just like, okay, this
Yeah,
is
because I
this
was
is
trying to figure out what NWA stood for, but I know that I didn't think it stood for what it actually stood for. I thought
Right.
maybe we had a different meaning for it. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Nicole, what's her last name? So
I
yeah.
have
that
no
reminds me
idea.
of there's a show they were showing a clip of it and I want to say it was Kelly Clarkson's show, and she's interviewing somebody, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm a thought. I'm the happy girl over there." And Kelly was like, "That's not what that means." I could kind of see Deontay thinking it means something else,
No,
you
because
know.
he had Public Enemy on the other side.
uh,
I
uh,
always said Public Enemy on the other side.
Yeah, he had
I
Public
didn't see
Enemy on
that.
the other side. I was like, dude, I find it hard to believe you listen to that kind of gangster rap.
mm. Yeah, he probably listened to it when it first came out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I imagine that he
whatever.
drives in his car listening to Taylor Swift. I can see that.
Exactly. Some Ed Sheeran, some
Yeah,
some Keith Sweat, The Begging.
yeah. And then, and then look, when he wants to be harder, he feels like he wants to be that dude. He listens to Bruno Mars.
Or NSYNC, some Backstreet Boys.
Say my.
And what's so bad is he probably has nice speakers to boom it through. Like that's a cool song to be blasting like that artist.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But
So
yeah,
Lucy, oh, I'm sorry.
it was funny because I actually had my son in here. We were watching the end of it. And I said, if you ever get married to somebody who gets dressed in a freaking public bathroom like that, like she was walking around in her bare feet. Like
Exactly, and that is
just
the nastiest thing to me, to be barefoot in public
nasty.
bathroom.
I'd be sitting there just dissing him the whole freaking time, just in the wedding, calling her all kinds of names. I'd just be like, this is
uh,
horrible. Like,
low
I
And
know
some,
you
budget.
better than this.
yeah,
It's
and
low
then
budget.
something, yeah, and then something else that grossed me out about it is her dress was long, so it was dragging the
Dragging
ground,
on
and
the
there was a period
floor.
where she was picking up the gown, and I'm like, okay, you're picking up cloth that just rubbed all on a nasty public
Like, how you
bathroom.
go from saying you wanted a bougie wedding to that?
Mm,
Well, she tried to plan it quickly, and apparently they ain't got the money to do anything nicer.
That's
mm.
nuts. And
Yeah, they
but
should have
then
did
I
it in
was
their
like,
backyard.
then I thought it was odd that she had a hotel room to get ready in. Like, why didn't you have a hotel room for her to get ready in? If anyone needed the hotel room, it was Nicole, not
Mm.
Tia.
Or they
So
could have used
that
the
was
hotel
odd
money.
too. Huh?
Used the hotel money and got a conference room. One of the
Yeah,
small
like
conference rooms.
I was just weird. Totally, I would have much rather y'all just get married at a courthouse
Yeah.
than
Well,
do
my
all
thing
that
is, even if y'all were gonna get married in the park, she should not have been getting dressed in the
at the
public
park.
restroom. That was
Yeah.
the part that really got to me because I could kind of see the part because you're trying to be budget friendly, but I
And
think
sometimes they make for really pretty backdrops, especially in the
they
fall.
do.
The
Hmm.
backdrops can be really nice, but
Yeah.
you could have rented a pavilion for 130 $300. It's not like
Or
renting their stuff at the park is like super expensive.
Right.
yeah, it's not. It's very inexpensive to do it. Like I said, I was just completely grossed out about her in that bathroom. That was what I was grossed out of. I'm like, do you live
Like
so
you've
far away
ex-
that you couldn't have gotten dressed at home and then drove to the park?
Yeah, like
That
even
was,
Yeah.
like
no.
you exposed your makeup brushes, you exposed your makeup, you're putting that on your face. Like she
Mm,
just started looking like a big ass nasty germ as
Yeah,
mm,
she kept getting ready. I was just like, and y'all are finna
yeah,
kiss, and she gonna kiss the air and the shit that's on your face, like just
mm.
nasty.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because at first I
yeah.
thought that since the car, well, it looked like they had like a little walkway from the street up to the where they were standing at.
Hmm.
I thought maybe that they was gonna get dressed at the house, drive up, and then she get out the vehicle, and then walk up. But
Yeah,
then when they clicked to the bathroom, and then she started walking in the ground to over there, I was like, "Dog, how far are you from the place?" So, but yeah, it was just yeah,
that's
yeah,
gross.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just completely grossed me out. Then the fact that chair that she had there clearly y'all must have probably brought it from home. Granted, they could have got it from the park, but I was still like, you got all this stuff in your little vanity table, and it was just it grossed me out a lot seeing all of
Mm-hmm.
So gross.
I know they ain't gonna take it back home.
that. Right? Probably
Yeah.
not going to wipe it down.
No. Just nasty. I mean, this episode, it's funny because we've had the sentimental episodes. This was the nasty episode because you had
Right?
her, then you had Christiana crying over the damn
Yeah.
food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
buddy.
This was
oh
just
yeah,
a
I'm getting
nasty
in
ass
that
episode.
Christiana's ass. That's
Yeah,
right. I'm
buddy.
getting in there.
Gross. They were gross
Yeah,
in this
buddy.
episode. Just
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So we had the gross wedding. So Racy, you didn't tell me your thoughts on this week with this nasty.
Um,
Look like
I mean, everything y'all said was true, and I'll say for Deontay, I actually like the shoes because I'm one of the people who I like fancy dress stuff, like fancy dress shoes. I like
hmm
the fancy hats. So when I see that stuff, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And then I love high heels, like unique stuff. But I'm like, I just wasn't feeling his whole outfit as a whole. Me personally, I wasn't.
right.
Because I feel like that was like an outfit if you was in the wedding. That looked like something you in it, not going
Yeah.
to the wedding. So I was like, you kind of overdoing it, in my opinion, like trying to outshine, old girl. And maybe that's what he wanted to do, but that jacket was just too much for me. But the shoes, I actually did like them. And then I'm like, dude, how did you get in that ditch? Because I was like, I had to rewind. I'm like, did I miss something?
Right.
Like, it literally looked like that was an accident. That's why I'm like, why are you like? Unless he was like texting or trying to do a live stream, something. I don't know why he was on the way. Because I
Oh,
was like, I'm like, why are you in the ditch? Like that jump was throwing me out. Then I was also kind of like I was annoyed a little bit, but I also understand like Nicole's emotional, how she was so emotional. But I was just getting tired of her just being emotional about everything and panic attacking. But I do, the reason I say I get it though is because Tia did kind of push. I mean, she wasn't forced to, but she kind of felt obligated because Tia having that surgery. So I was like, yeah, and they did rush it. It's like we getting
oh, and
married
then
this week.
let me jump in there for a second. Did y'all see Taya drinking that liquor
And
after Nicole already told her she got 2 tumors and it's her liver
Yeah,
that she's having
yeah,
issues with? I'm like, what kind
yeah,
of is this?
yeah. She don't care. She
she
don't
just
She
care.
lived
was just
best life.
taking the bottle straight to the head.
She,
I'm like, girl.
but she gonna get him give Nicole a reason not to make a decision doing all that mess. But she ain't care though. But so I mean, all of that was good. I still, I can't get over Deontay. Like he really does make me mad because it's like you dancing and it's like I don't know if he really truly believed he was gonna walk in and she's gonna be like, I choose him, not you, and running. I don't know, but I'm like, he live in a sick world, and like his fantasy world is just ridiculous. Like,
He's delusional. Very.
yeah, he's delusional, and it's like she don't even look the way she looked in the beginning. Like I don't even know what he's still interested in, anyways. But whatever. But I agree with all the bathroom stuff. But my thoughts like out there. I kind of slipped in there a little bit. It was hey, if somebody had started boo booing, I would have laughed. That would have been like worse than the pen. If somebody had did that, that's all you need was somebody to have gas. That would have
That,
Oh,
been.
you did because you
that
told
That
us.
was
bathroom looks
hilarious.
so
we don't know
disgusting.
that they
I
didn't.
can smell it through the TV. I
Everybody,
can smell
I
it.
would hope they
I
wouldn't
knew
edit
what
it.
it smelled like as soon as I saw it. It looked
Yeah,
like it's probably the ground zero for salmonella.
yeah.
I'm just
It looked bad. It did. I'm
It
like, I
was
probably
gross.
wouldn't even have them film that part. And then my last little thought was, like y'all said, how Nicole was like, I want it bling everywhere, bling here. And, and they showed her trying dresses on. I don't remember that dress that she had on as being one that she tried on. So I was a little disappointed in her dress. Like, it wasn't ugly, but I just thought she'd have something a little better.
Yeah.
It was kind of plain to me. Like, I was like, that's it. When she came out with it on, I'm like, she tried on something that was cuter than that. Like, it wasn't bad, but I just remember her having a dress that seemed like it had some details to it or something, but I don't know. I didn't care for the dress.
yeah.
But
Well,
that's all I got.
I'm
Huh?
almost thinking maybe it was budget friendly, and then also she didn't get any alterations done to that dress. And then when her mom was putting it on, it seemed like you would have known. You would have tried that dress on before and would have known how tight it is.
How tight it
So I'm
was. Yeah.
almost thinking she bought something. Maybe she was on Facebook Marketplace and found that dress or something. But it was Yeah, she didn't have it altered, and then she didn't even know
She
it wasn't
was
going to fit
Stan.
properly.
Yeah,
What'd
that's
you say,
true.
Sean?
She got that dress where Stan got them wigs from.
Yeah, yeah. She really tried on something cute for the camera, but then bought the discount dress.
Uh huh.
Whew.
Stan probably hit her up and was like, "Hey, they got a little shop around the corner from where you at."
But no, Anissa hit her up and was like, "Girl, if you don't go to this store that I
True,
went to,
true. That's true.
girl." Like, yeah, they got what you need over here, girl. So I don't know. So the next couple that we see is Sean and Sarah. Okay, so Sean, he's on his way to meet Sarah's mother when we see him, right? And so when he meets up with Sarah's mom, he tells her, "Okay, so I would like to marry Sarah, and I would like to have your blessing." So her mom is like, I don't know that I can, really give that to you. Understandable. And so they go inside of a jewelry store and start looking at rings. And so he's looking to her mom to help him pick her out a nice ring. The mom, I guess she really thinks about what she's doing, and it's obvious she like becomes kind of disgusted, like or whatever. And so she brings up his 6 kids and his baby mama, and then she ends up running out of there. And something that kind of bothered me that Sean did. All right, so you felt like it was important enough to ask her mom for her hand in marriage, right? Which that's commendable. But when he saw the mom storm off, he was like, "Well, I'm getting married to Sarah. I'm not marrying her mom, so I don't care what she thinks." That bothered me because I was like, "Okay, so really you wasted this woman's time and you were putting on a front because a few minutes ago you wanted this woman's approval and you did care about what she thought." And you said that to her. So that's why one of the reasons why she don't trust you, because you're just flippant and you don't care. You care one moment, the next minute you don't care. All right. And yeah, so that was pretty much the ends of their scenes once the mom stormed out of the jewelry store. So what did you guys think of Sean and Sarah this week?
If I mean, if my dad is still around by the time I get married, because I think I'm pushing that table back to like 60, 65. So I'm not sure that he'll still be living during that period. But if he is, I would expect my husband to ask my father for his hand. And if my dad doesn't agree, I'm with my dad, and I would wait until my dad is cool with whatever I'm getting myself into. So if you don't care, I don't really understand the purpose in asking.
Yeah, and it just kind of almost came off as disrespectful because at first you got so much respect for this lady that you did that, but then you'll turn around and do this. So like as I've revealed before, I've been married a couple of times. Now, my last husband, well, 2 times. Now, that may not make it seem like it's been much, but my last husband, he did ask my mom for my hand in marriage, which for me meant a lot. I'm like, okay, thank you for doing that or whatever. But I can't imagine him flipping and turning, and it's not like her mom doesn't have good enough reasons to dislike him. And
Right.
he should see that, you know.
Yeah, but he don't. And I liked when she brought up the fact, you have 6 kids and with the same woman, like we had talked before. Like we know you at least slept with her 6 times.
Yeah, and then I like
You
when
know
she
what I'm
said
saying?
something like, we never see them around," or she stopped herself. It was like she was about to say that. Did anybody else catch that when she said that?
Yeah, I think she was talking about the kind of father he was
Yeah,
and who does that? Who has 6 kids with one person and never tries to do anything with them? And I think he said something about we weren't cool like that or we didn't do something like that. And she was like, "What do you mean? You had 6 kids with her. What do you mean you didn't?"
yeah. He was trying to say it's different with Sarah than it is with her. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a valid point. Like you had 6 children with this person, it wasn't like that. Like, how are you able to be with? I just don't understand how you can be with anybody for an extended amount of years, whether you have kids or not, and you don't love that person to the point where you're like, okay, let's get married. Like, that's something I just don't understand how he could fix his mouth to even say it.
Yeah, that was crazy when he said that. I was like, "Oh my gosh." And like I said, I mean, if my dad were not ready for that, or he felt like he saw something that he didn't want me getting into, I totally would listen to my dad, and I'd be like, "Okay, well, we'll just continue to date till you're ready, or if he can't wait, then I'll just find somebody else."
Hmm.
That's
So
just
you
how important
dating?
it is to me.
Oh, okay. So you dating this guy for 5 years. He proposed to you, and your dad said no. Well, he asked your dad. Your dad said no. You're not gonna go against your dad,
Nope.
even though you spent 5 long years with this one guy.
There's something my dad must see that he doesn't feel I'm ready to get into a marriage with him. Like there's something he must see
Uh-huh.
that's like he's not ready to take care of you, he's not ready to take care of your kids. He's just going through the motions, or he's using you. Like
Mhm.
that's just how I would see. And I would ask my dad, cuz me
Oh,
and my
okay.
dad have a really 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 close
Mhm.
relationship.
So he would have
And
to explain himself. You're just
he
not
would
going to
have to
just go off
explain.
the.
I would have to
Oh,
sit here and listen to why do you feel he's not the one, or why are you not willing to give, because that's the idea, that he's giving me away to this man. So
okay.
why aren't you ready to give me away to him? What's going on? What do you see? What have you heard?
Okay.
And my
I'm
dad
with
would
that
tell
now.
me,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, I'm with that now. I just thought that your dad would say no, and you just like, okay, my dad said no, and
Oh,
then
no, no,
move
no,
on.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me put this,
But I was
Sean,
gonna say
your
that's real
father.
tight. You real mom. I mean, daddy's girl. That's real tight.
Yeah, no, 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 no. He'd
But I
have to
need you to
So
explain
talk to
to me
my daughter.
why.
So I'm need you to
Yeah,
talk to my daughter and tell my daughter that she needs to listen to her daddy. Yes.
yeah.
So,
No, no.
Sean, let's flip this. You are the father. So,
Uh-huh.
traditionally, a man will ask the father for the woman's hand in marriage. So, let's say this guy he comes to you. You say no, I can't give you my blessings right now, and then you find out that he turned around and said, "Well, I'm not marrying Mr. Sean. I'm marrying his daughter. Shanitra or whatever." So, I don't care what he thinks. How would you feel about that?
Well, in that scenario, yeah, I would be upset and disappointed about it. But I don't expect for the person that wants to marry my daughter to come and ask me for my blessing.
Oh, really?
Really?
No, I don't.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because she love who she love. Now she can ask me my opinion about him, and I'll tell her my opinion, and go from there. And then she have to make her own decision. But I wouldn't interfere with her choice. You know, she have to live with it. So I just tell her, hey, yeah, this dude is not right for you. He's whatever, too old, too young, too cheap, too whatever, and then she need to go ahead on and make that decision whether or not she wants to live with that person. Because I could see something in that guy that I was blinded, not blinded. I can see something that's not there. I just assume that, okay, this is how he is based off of my past dealing with other people that have that same characteristic. But with my daughter, he might not be that way. It might be the person that she really wants to be with, and he really wants to be with her, and he's willing to change. And because I said something that caused her not to be with that guy, and then that guy go off and do some great things, and then she'd be like, well, you see, it's your fault that I'm not with him. So I don't want to have that be on my conscience. So I'll just say my piece about the person, and it'll be up to her to decide whether or not she really wants to be with that guy. Yeah, so, but that's just me.
Yeah. I
How
mean,
old
so,
are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Well, hold on now. Hold on.
oh, wait a minute. I know he's
Hold on.
not. When he proclaimed himself, oh, he's proud of his
I'm,
age, never lies about his age. You
I'm 65 years old. Don't I look like I'm 65 years old?
No, I'm just like, is that the new father mentality of that, with that. I'm just wondering. Because my dad, of course, he's in his 60s. So
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely old school.
Yeah.
He wants to be asked. And I want him to be asked. And I want him to say, yeah, I even want, as my son gets older, my oldest son gets older, and even when
Mm-hmm.
my younger son gets older, because like I said, we're pushing another 20 years before this happens. So I'll have two adult sons. I would really want them to make sure this is who they want their mom to be with too. Like, because I just feel like sometimes with love, we have on blinders
Right.
and
That's
there
true.
are things that we just don't see. And if they can say, Ma, he really doesn't treat you right, or Ma, I just don't feel, I don't get a good vibe from him. He's not trying to get to know me. He's not trying to get to know anybody. He's just there, and I'd be like,
Mhm.
well, you're right. It would open my eyes.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm just
See,
wondering.
no, because
But
well, I'm 46, but
yeah,
with my kids, well, my daughter, since it's the girl, she have her own mind, and I can tell her, no, I don't want you to marry this man, but she's gonna do what she want to do regardless of what I say. So all thing I can do is say reasons why, because like you say, your dad would tell you the why. So I can just tell her the reasons why. But as far as he coming to me, he don't have to come to me, So
Yeah, I think
he
my
was
biggest thing, like takeaway from that is, for me, I don't approach my mom with anything. Don't even approach my mom with hi. If you are going to turn around and say something that I could deem possibly a little disrespectful, or like, why would you say that? You acted like my mom was important in your decision, but the minute she didn't agree with you, well, it's okay because yeah, I'm not marrying her anyway, and la la la. So you were putting on a front. And I
right.
don't like
but,
that fake stuff. Like, don't be fake with my mom. You can go
but
be fake with your mama, but don't be fake with my mom.
but let me turn the question around then, because would
Okay.
y'all want y'all sons to ask y'all for your blessing to marry their daughter? I mean, the wife that they
To
want to
get
marry?
married,
Yeah.
something. I wouldn't say I would be okay if he didn't. I would like it if he came to me and was like, I'm thinking about asking this girl to marry me. What do you think about her? What has been, your feelings towards that? I know my son, he dates, and he has a girlfriend or whatever. And after I met her, it seemed like it was important for him to know what my opinion was of her. Now, whether he was going to act if I said something negative, I don't know. But
Mhm.
it does seem like to him, my opinion does matter to him.
Okay. Because I know if I'd have asked my mom before I married my wife, she would have told me no.
Oh
Because
wow.
all of the girls that I dated, my mom was like, "Nah, she ain't good enough." So,
Yeah. Well, and I think that's a little bit harder. I think it's just like it's hard to watch your son change into a man and then this new woman come into his life. And I haven't even experienced this yet. I'm just watching my son turn into a man and it's
mhm,
killing me. But,
mhm,
just the idea, if he were to bring somebody home like Nicole, he already knows. Like my son knows. Lord have mercy, that boy knows. Just make sure whoever you're bringing around me is of caliber, because if they're not, they won't be welcome in my house, and it is what it is. Like he knows. There he already knows. He knows whether these girls are worth bringing around me or not, because he knows
mhm,
that I don't have a filter. So they would both know if I didn't agree with them getting married.
mhm,
And that's something I will have to work on as he gets older, to make sure that I don't create tension or create something to where I can't see my grandkids or anything like
right.
that.
Yeah.
But, I at this point in time now, um my opinion, my son, I always say that's the one thing I do like about my older son. My little son, he's really a kid. So you can't really figure him out yet about how he sees things or what he
Mhm,
thinks, this, that, and the other. He truly is a real kid. He's enjoying being a kid and he lives a kid's life. But as far as my older son goes, we have talks all the time about, his future. And I know what he wants as far as his future goes. And I do feel like if I were to see a woman or a girl come in who doesn't fit what his lifestyle is, what he's always said he wanted, I would be vocal about that. So to him and her,
mhm,
I've never been one to shy away from my thoughts and opinions.
mhm,
I think um, for me, if he brought home somebody that was just completely out of like character for him, um, I would speak up. I'm not going to put it's either her or me. I'm not going to put him in that situation, but I definitely would. And then if he brought home somebody just so to the left field, I think in a way it'll bother me some also because I know raising him, I tried to be that good example of, you know, of a good woman. So it's like, okay, if you're bringing in this riffraff, what drew you there? I mean, it would definitely just start some conversation between he and I because I'm like, where
Mhm.
is this coming from? You know?
Yeah.
Well,
I know. And, huh?
yeah, look at him.
No, and I also know with my older son, he does have a he has his own mind or his own sense that he knows I'm not going to be able to control his life. Now that's the one thing I don't have over him. I'm not going to be able to say, oh, don't go there, oh, you can't do that, oh, this, that, and the other. He's going to be like, Ma, I'm an adult, I can do what I want to do. Now I'll listen to what you say or what your thoughts are, but I'm going to still do me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So, and I've told him that we've always had that kind of relationship where if I don't agree with something, he'll just say, Ma, I understand, but it's how I roll. Well, I mean, we actually just had to talk about that with his swimming because he feels like I'm too hard on him about where he should be and not really just being happy with where he's at. So I don't ever worry that I'm going to be the one to control what he does. Um, Now, of course, my little one, I think if I were to set standards or say this or say that, I truly honestly think he's just going to be my tester.
Yeah,
He's
and
going
I
to
think
be
that's
the
the biggest
total
thing is
opposite.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that you can't control them or control what they do. Um, and I wouldn't try to necessarily control him, but I would be like, okay, can you kind of explain to me this?
What it is.
You
Yeah.
know, because that's not aligning up with
Oh,
something, you
he
know.
would. I've
Mm-hmm.
even told them, I said, even if they come to my door and they aren't acting right, I'm gonna be like, why would you bring this here? Like, you already know me and her ain't gonna get along. So be on your way.
Because I love her, Mama, and you need to accept who I love.
I can accept her, but I'm gonna accept her from afar because what she ain't gonna do,
uh,
she ain't gonna disrespect me in my own house. You know
uh,
what I'm saying?
Oh,
I'm like,
that's where I
yeah,
don't play.
especially
I don't
like
care
I
who
agree
you
with
are. If
some of
you.
you are
that,
not even
I just can't. Mm-mm.
yeah. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, that's a big thing with me is the disrespect. Like you're not gonna come in my home and disrespect me. Just like you're not gonna be bringing a girl in here that would disrespect me. But I know my son is very protective of me, so I don't see him bringing a girl home that would be that way towards me. That would completely shock me. I'm telling y'all, I'd pass out dead the moment I saw that. If I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, I think they put on fronts and they don't realize, they don't see. That's what I'm saying. That's those blinders. There's certain things that they don't see until it's like, oh crap, I can't believe you said that to my mom, or I can't believe you did that. I
Uh-huh.
don't think they necessarily always know that they would potentially be disrespectful. And as parents, we can see through some of that anyway.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
may be able to see through that, but I feel like to a certain extent, you still know. Just like I have never brought home a man that disrespected my mom, so I don't understand how you could be with somebody and don't realize that they could disrespect your parents. Like I don't understand that. That's just me. Like I've never brought home a man who disrespected my son. I think there's just very clear boundaries, especially if somebody knows, like, okay, you know what, Nene has, the type of relationship with her mom where if I get disrespectful, she's probably going to break up with me. And I think any man that comes in my life, he also knows that, wait a minute, if I'm disrespectful to her son, she's going to get rid of me because there's just certain places that certain people hold in my life. And I feel like if you know me enough, you know what not to do.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like any woman that deals with him should know the place that I do have in my son's life where they wouldn't remotely try that. Um, And so if they tried it again, I'm not going to tell him it's me or her. It's like, hey, can you explain why your girl decided to walk in here and behave like that? Did you do something to make her think that was okay? Or are you going to talk to
Mhm.
her about that? You know,
Yeah. So for what Sean, like y'all was saying, I don't think he should have even brought the mama there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he should have just left that
No,
alone.
because he really didn't care about her opinion. What he was doing was just trying to get into like a good little spot with her. Because you saw he was even trying to beg her not to leave the jewelry store. If you truly
Right,
don't care about her opinion, why do you care if she leaves out the jewelry store?
right.
I think
Yeah,
he
you
should
know,
have been built up the relationship with his mom by now, um, because they've already moved in together, which again, we know that's a time jump because when they had their fight, when she found out about the kids, it was winter. By the time they moved in, they were wearing flip flops, so it had to be closer to summer. So during that transition period, she should have already gotten to know him or fill him out, but she still looks at him like, I don't even know you. Like, dang, y'all just moved in together. Can you just deal with that first?
hmm
It is a lot to move in with somebody. You learn a whole lot about a person once you move in with them too.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's why he's trying to hurry up and marry her.
Yeah, because
yeah.
she's gonna learn more. Well, apparently she hiding more secrets too. I'm like,
But
Right.
dude.
y'all know what? My theory is I think we were right not last week, but the week before last when we said we think Sarah's pregnant and she knows it.
hmm
I think
I
that's
think
what
she was.
it is.
I think she's pregnant in the confessional. I don't think she's pregnant in the where he's talking about marrying her.
I think she is though.
Yeah, I think she's pregnant now.
I
Yeah,
think
when
she's
all that
pregnant
took
in the
place.
confessional when they were talking and she got mad and walked out when he said he didn't really care to have any more kids.
Yeah, that's what we
I
were
think
saying
she's pregnant
last
there,
week.
but I don't
Yeah,
think she's pregnant when they're filming.
I think she was pregnant in that confessional scene, and then when she's talking to her mom, she knows that she's pregnant, and I think that's why the
Are the
secret.
confessionals not recorded after the season?
Yeah, it's recorded after the season, but in the confessional, she's making it almost look like they're just discussing pregnancy. She's not saying that she is pregnant in the confessional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel she's pregnant in the confessional. That's why she got so upset. But whatever secret it is that she's not telling him now, I don't think it's pregnancy.
Oh, that's see. Oh, okay.
Oh,
No.
But
I think it is.
yeah, something else. It was I just lost my thought. When she's in the confessional, she's still very, very emotional. And then it was like at one point he was like, "We don't know for sure." And then it was like, "If we're gonna have kids," it was like he stopped himself. I don't know if you caught that too. So that's another thing. I'm almost wondering if that confessional was filmed closer to that actual scene because she was just so upset in that confessional for it to have happened months later.
Mm.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
find out
I don't
soon,
know
I
how
guess.
they film. Normally, like with Real Housewives and all that, their confessionals are after the season has ended and they're rewatching the episodes, not during taping.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that maybe their confessional happened sooner because how was she able to get so emotional about something? Because if it was filmed after the show, she's already told him and everything else. So why is she so bothered that it made her cry? You get
Because
what
he
I'm saying?
basically denied their kid in the confessional. Like if I told you I was pregnant and then we're sitting here filming and you're trying to still make sure people don't know and you told the world you didn't want kids with me, I'd be pretty upset because you know what the situation is.
Yeah.
Mm. You see it that way.
I don't know. So Reese, what did you think about Sean and Sarah this week?
I don't know. With the mom, I kind of was a little bothered by the way she acts because I just feel like I don't know if it feels genuine, her like acting like that, or is she doing that for the camera? She probably is genuine, but I don't know something about her personality. At first, I liked it, but then, like, if you're just gonna keep being like that, she's kind of annoying to me. But I did not like what how Sean did that because I'm with all of y'all. If you didn't want her blessing, why even ask her? Like, you wasting her time coming. And then the other thing, I think he wanted her there because he didn't know what kind of ring she wants. So he don't know enough about Sarah to even pick her out a ring. So he was like, please don't leave, like, because he need help.
But what does that
Mm.
tell you?
He
You
don't
know what I'm
know.
saying? Like, if you don't even know what she likes, because I was even thinking, like, if someone were to propose and I wasn't anticipating them proposing and they have no style or no sense of what kind of jewelry I like, how would you? I mean, I don't even think Nene knows the kind of jewelry I like enough to where she could feel comfortable enough to pick out a ring for me. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't even know that about your significant other, how can you go and shop for them?
Yeah.
You go into the jewelry store. You,
Oh Lord, what is this man about to say?
there you go. Bang. Plain and
You
simple,
know,
people.
like
That's all
I
you got
said,
to do.
But
by the
he
time
can't
I'm 65, I don't think I care what the ring looks like, you know,
like,
because anybody and everybody who I love ain't gonna be around to see it anyway. So
yeah.
it just be
Then
like, oh, well, whatever.
I mean, John kind of did it the way a lot of couples they like. They talked about marriage, so they have an
Mm-hmm.
ideal that they probably want to get married. So couples will go ring shopping. It's like, look, maybe I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
get this ring or that ring or whatever. That's what me and my late husband did. I picked out three, and he went back and he got the one that he wanted me to have. So, I mean, there's different ways that you can do it without playing games with her mom and wasting her mom's afternoon and stuff. I feel like there's ways to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the one I thought we were gonna do it, I sent him screenshots of the kind of rings I liked.
Yeah, and that's
And
something
that
else you
was,
can.
I mean, that's what you got to look at and figure out which one fits my finger. But yeah,
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I feel like that's why he didn't care that she left, because that's all he wanted her there for anyways.
Yeah,
And
and
he was
it's
like,
just
well, at least I know she don't like gold. He was like, fine, then go then. Yeah,
uh,
so.
mm-mm.
yeah. So how was that? All right. So did we get your point of view? Yeah, we did get your point of view, right, Johnny? I want to
yes,
make sure I'm not skipping anybody. Okay. So then we have Brittany and Marcelino. Okay. So Brittany's dad arrives in town, right? Okay. And so they're having a family barbecue. So Brittany keeps saying, to her dad, I just don't want you to know everything that's going on and la la la. So I'm thinking she's about to tell her dad about the money and possibly their biological dad reaching out to him. But she didn't. But what she said to him was that um, she did tell her dad that at first she wasn't happy because she didn't want to reveal certain things going on. And you could tell her dad looked concerned. He's like, well, what's going on? And so she said, my biological dad has reached out to me. And she basically, lets him know what was said. And then she was like, she doesn't want him to feel any type of way if she makes contact with him. But he lets her know that, he doesn't mind if she talks to her biological dad. He understands that because he grew up not knowing his biological dad. And he ended up meeting his biological dad later in life or whatever. And so, he lets her know that he's okay and he's not going to feel any type of way. So then they show Brittany and Marcelino leaving for their vacation, a little trip away. And so I kind of giggled when I was watching them in the car together because I'm like, that's me. I cannot handle surprises. So if I'm in the car, you're trying to take me somewhere every half a mile. I'm really like, well, where are we going? Give me a clue. Are we going to Texas? Where are we going? What is going on here? Do I have on the right outfit? Actually, I got a couple of bags in the couple of things in the back seat so I can change real quick. I would drive somebody crazy trying to surprise me with their trip. And so they end up arriving at a ranch. So Marcelino has reserved, a ranch and got them a little teepee to sleep in for the night. Um, I don't want to make it sound like it was just a teepee. It was a nice looking little teepee, and it looked like it was like on a platform to have it off the desert floor. Um, and so they at one point they ride horses. They have a good little day, and then at the end of the day, at the end of their evening, they're sitting by a fire. That fire was crackling. I was like, that make me want to light up my fireplace right now with the way that fire was crackling. And they just have a discussion and they're just talking, just having a moment together. And then they decide to go into the teepee where Brittany's like, woohoo, we don't have to be quiet in here. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm going to attract some wild animals to that teepee. She's screaming and hollering. So, what did y'all think about Brittany and Marcelino?
Um, well, I still am confused about the dad thing because you said she got the tattoo, so I'm like, it still just seemed like she don't know much about him. And then it's like if the mom is saying like he's a deadbeat, then she gets mad about that. But then I don't know, she give confusing vibes about the dad, so I still don't have no real good like understanding of that. And then, but with the trip, I did think it was funny how she was asking all the questions and stuff on the way. And I think the only thing about like a surprise trip for me is just what do I wear and do I need a jacket? Do I not need a jacket? So then I already, when I know where I'm going, I pack like ridiculous. So I feel like I would have took everything. I'm like, well, shoot, I don't know. Do I need
Yeah,
a dress,
that's me too.
pants, leggings? What do I need? Jacket, sweater, short sleeve,
Yeah,
long sleeve, So um, that's the part I can relate, I guess, too. But
I definitely can relate to that too. I
yeah.
overpack everywhere I'm going, even if I'm going for one night, and then I have to have snacks because I don't know what the snack situation is going to be like. I got to pack some
Mhm.
waters. I don't know what the water situation is. I just overpack because I
And then
overthink
when
it.
like camping type places like that, you really shouldn't be taking like too many
Too
snacks because
much,
that's how
yeah.
them
Yeah,
berries. You know what I'm saying? But she don't know that. So
right.
what if she brought like a bunch of snacks? That's why I'm like, man, hopefully he was like, no, you ain't gonna need those or something.
Yeah,
But I just thought it was funny how they were like, we're going to the TP. Yeah, we're going to the TP. I can't wait to get to the TP. Let's get to the TP. We're going to the TP.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, y'all, we know what
I'm
y'all finna
like,
do.
I
Like,
slept in a tent before. It's not the most comfortable thing unless they got an air mattress in it. Well, I don't know
I
about
think it looked
having
like
sex
no,
time on an
actually we
air
couldn't see
mattress anyway.
inside of it.
I don't know about that.
It's like a water bed.
Mhm. But I'm assuming I mean, because it wasn't just your average little tent, you know what I mean? So probably did have something in there if it's on a platform too. Because ain't no way you finna be on the ground doing all that. Like,
My
but
mind just starts wandering.
but I was
I had
like,
all kinds of thoughts in my head because y'all are
Yeah.
having sexy time in there. I'm like,
yeah,
there's no running water.
There's no
Are y'all just
water.
gonna have
You
dirty
just
hands
did.
for the
You
rest of the
just
night?
rode horses. You know
that,
it don't
it did.
smell right out there. Like I said, the episode of Nasty. That's why I was
And
like,
then y'all can't lock
just
it either. You can't lock
yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
then
I'm
the
If
kids
somebody
can't hear, but everybody else, I'm like, I don't know. I
and
don't know.
then somebody could be standing outside the teepee
That's
listening and watching the show.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, and then they can just open it up because it didn't look like it zipped. It looked like it just opened like a TP does. Maybe it zips, but I ain't never seen a tent that you can't unzip from the outside. So that's why I'm like, yeah.
yeah, just think
But they were
about that.
so like into that TP and like it looked like she even might have wanted to sit and talk for a little longer. And it was like, no, let's get to this TP. And she like, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the way they was kissing, I'm like, y'all get in that doggone TP because y'all about to start doing too much right here. So that scene, I'm with y'all. Like, I don't know about all that unless we just didn't see the fact that there may be showers since they did have a place where it looked like they wouldn't got a drink or something. Like the area where they were sitting. Like,
Bacteria
I
City.
don't know what all is right there. So hopefully, I'm thinking they must have
Yeah,
been
maybe
able
they
to.
have some wet wipes in that teepee because I was just thinking about your hands is gonna be nasty till in the morning.
It's
Sit up
gross. Like
there.
I'd have been like, no, we gotta wait till we get to a hotel or something. I gotta take a shower. We just rode horses. I'm
Yeah,
sure I
like
smelled
that's
like a
Yeah.
something.
freaking
If you
horse.
knew you wanted some TP time, y'all should have did the TP time. Then when it rode horses,
Then when he rode horses.
But I
Just
was
man.
like, dog, if they don't just get in that dog on TP and quit talking about it, 'cause I'm like, if I had to hear the word TP again, I was starting to get mad.
Yeah. Yeah, and you knew it was up when Brittany started calling him her little Puerto Rican cowboy. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, she
oh.
did. She was like, yeah, you my little Puerto Rican. I was like, get in that TP. Get in the TP. I'm like, y'all are getting a little too much. I was like, it was cute kind of at first. Like, you know how they kind of love you with you because you don't really see them acting like that. Then I was like, okay, now it's gonna be too much. Like the kissing got more passionate. I'm like, all right, get in the TP.
Yeah.
Because y'all know how they like to show us a little too much at times. I'm like, they better
Yeah.
not follow them. Better not. Better not.
Yeah. Well,
Or
I
I'll
was
let they
glad
better
they
not
went
start
inside
doing
the
it on that
teepee
little
because things were getting a little hot and heavy on that little,
on the bench.
what
Yeah.
yeah, on the bench that they were sitting.
That's
I'm
why I
like,
was like, get in that TP,
calm
y'all.
down, please.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I mean, I think it's cute that she really enjoyed what he chose because she said it takes her
Yeah.
back to whatever, like being in the I don't know, being out there made her reminded her of home or whatever. But I'm like, it's cute, but when you really look at the logistics of it, it is kind of nasty at the same time. But hey, if y'all want to do TP and have TP time right after that without showering and
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't have wanted to have sexy time, and I still got particles of horsehair on me. I don't know.
Hmm.
But for each his
And then
own.
you got the
Sean,
And you
fire
sweaty. You
and the
stink.
smoke.
Oh, I didn't even
I
think
don't.
about that. That
Y'all
smoky
just don't
smell.
under.
I cannot
That's just gross.
stand that.
Like I said, a freaking petri dish of germs. Just ugh.
You just changed the game with me with that smoky smell. I'm like,
Service
not only is everybody
surfaces and
sweaty and musty, but now we smoky too.
but
ugh.
if you think about it, like a campfire has one scent, and then she was smoking a cigarette. So,
Yeah, yeah. Because when they started kissing after that, I was like, ugh. I can
And I
only
felt
imagine
like
what
they were
that
drinking
place
something
smelled
too.
like. Ugh.
Uh,
I felt like
yeah,
they were drinking something too. Like that
yeah,
wasn't
they
just no
were
juice
drinking.
or nothing. Like I'm sure that was a drink. And so imagine the drinks, the horses, the campfire, the cigarette, ugh, the sweat.
And like you said, no water in sight. I ain't seen nobody wash hands. I ain't seen. Oh God. Whew. Petri
uh,
dish. Petri dish, just making me sick.
mhm,
Ugh.
He said, "What
mhm.
did you think about her conversation with her stepdad?" Oh, Johnny.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Reese. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
heard too. I was like, wait, I
I
get it.
I I was kind of confused because I don't follow her too well, but email addresses aren't something that's just you can search on an engine and find.
We
So
did talk about that before
yeah,
on a
how did he
previous
get your
episode.
email
Yeah.
address if
How did he get? Yeah. So I
he
feel
hasn't
like
been?
somebody had to have told him, or you have talked to him.
Yeah, what that is. And she kind of threw me a little bit because then she said her mom was a horrible mom.
Yeah.
And
Her
she kind
mom
of
was
threw
strung
She
out
was
on
on.
drugs. She
yeah,
did
Okay.
have
so
a bad mom.
she was saying that and I was just like, well, damn, if your mom was strung out like that, wouldn't they have contacted your father to say, hey? Then I couldn't tell if the sisters were her stepdad's kids or were they part of the package with the previous father. I was kind of confused. I'm confused about the family dynamic. So I don't know her whole thing. I think it's just weird. But if you want to get to know your parents, you should be able to. Step parents know that there's a possibility of that, whether they're the only one in your life for however long or they're co-parenting with your biological. So
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that he just kind of let her know, yeah, I'm cool with that. You got to get to know where you're from, know your
Yeah.
family. He said, I've never heard anything good, but of course, why would he?
Right.
Right. The
So
mom is not
I
going to tell
just,
him anything good. And then the
yeah.
mom, kind of give you a little bit of backstory with Brittany. Like her mom was on drugs, when she was younger, to the point I'm not sure how Brittany got away from her, but she got away from her. She was like a preteen or early teens. Brittany had two other kids, and she said it was by an older guy, and I guess she was using drugs then too. So she has two additional children on top of the ones that are in that home with them.
Oh, so the
She
6-year-old is Marcelina's?
No, that's
Okay.
another boyfriend.
Okay,
So
that's what I thought. Because when I saw him, I was like, that don't look like his kid, but genetics are funny, so it is what it is. If he takes it as his kid, that's his kid. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think she's just kind of creating drama where there's none there. Get to know
Hmm.
your father. If he's worth knowing, he is. If he's not, then he doesn't need to be in the picture.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
And you do. You have plenty of women out there who will take the kids and diss the dad and make him seem like he's this horrible person when he really wasn't, or he didn't even know you existed. So you don't necessarily know. And like she said, I think she said they were teenagers when she was born. So I would just ask.
yeah. I think it's all right if she goes and tries to figure out, because she probably has a lot of questions because of the way, her childhood went. Like, did you know that I had children at like 12 or 13? Why didn't you reach out to me then? Why now?
Hmm.
And that, and I feel like those are fair questions to ask a parent that has been gone.
Hmm.
Especially since she had such a traumatic childhood.
Right.
Absolutely. So Sean, what were your thoughts
Mhm.
on Brittany and Marcelino this week?
Uh, well, I didn't see all the filthiness that you all had saw, but seeing how
What
y'all
episode was you watching? Look, I'm
seeing how
like,
y'all
Mr.
brought it
Raj.
out, I
What
was like, "Good
episode was
Lord, that
you
is
watching, Sean?
nasty." I didn't think it was nasty. I was like, "Wow, okay, it is nasty." Now that y'all just opened up my eyes to all of the because the only film that I saw was the next couple, but that is nasty. That is disgusting.
The next
Uh,
couple, huh?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I did thought it was cool that her stepdad was on board with her meeting her father, and he did share with her his story. That way, that
Yeah.
should bring her mind at ease even more so,
Mhm.
in going forward with that. And I was kind of thinking that the tattoo of the dad,
Mm-hmm.
seeing how she had such a bad relationship with her mother, I was like, maybe it's a possibility that she got the tattoo to make her get even with her mom because she know how bad the mom doesn't like the
True.
dad. So,
Mhm.
That's a good
so
point.
yeah. So, but
Possible.
uh, I even though I say that, I think that's like maybe 2%, but 98% is because she already knew who the man is. But So the fact that, yeah, like I said, the stepdad is willing to, because I also was trying to figure out the kids, the dynamics, because I was like, if the biological father is reaching out to her, and if that's her sister, did he reach out to the sister as well, or is she just reaching out to her? And if he is reaching out to her, is he reaching out to her because she's on TV? Because this is the
Yeah.
second time, because she was already on there once before. So
Mm-hmm.
is he trying to get so where he can get a paycheck too? Throw me into the storyline type thing.
Good point.
And so, but the whole it is does feel like she's making something out of nothing because the last time she was on and how she flipped the laptop closed when Marcelino walked by, and I only can talk
Yeah.
to. I got some questions that only one person can answer, and it's not my husband, type stuff. And uh I'm just what you call it. Little ready for them to move on because she's making stuff out of nothing. Too much stuff.
Yeah. She's trying to create storylines, and it's like, stop trying to create them and just let them happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You know, that's the one thing that does aggravate me about some of these reality shows is when people are trying to force and create situations that just live
Right.
your life and allow this to happen. If you're interesting, we're gonna watch you.
Because even with one of the previews, before the preview of this episode, they had it seem like Marcellonia was saying, "I just want to save my marriage," and I was like, "Well, I didn't see that in the whole little thing." Uh,
Yeah, there's been a
um,
lot like Deonte when he was standing in front of the police car. I don't know if you guys remembered it, but it was
yeah,
a clip before, so they made it look like Deonte was about to get arrested or something.
Arrested. Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's not even what happened. Ended up
Mm-mm,
happening.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
Because see, I kind of knew he didn't get arrested because one, he's a black man, and the cop was standing behind him, and he wasn't laid down on the ground, or he wasn't on the back of the hood of the truck, because they wouldn't allow that black man to just stand there and film him. So yeah. So I was like, okay, y'all just trying to make me watch. So
Yeah.
again, drama where there's no drama.
Right.
So
All
they
right.
don't need to make no drama with Deontay. Just let him live his life. Just follow
I
him.
know.
Yeah.
Just
So
watch him for 5 minutes. He'll create his own drama.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what you
yeah.
gotta do. Absolutely. Okay, so the next couple we see is Brittany and Ray. So, I mean, not Brittany, but Ray's grandma, who I love. I love his grandma. She comes over to visit and cook. Okay. So, he tells her that they're going to go on a trip to Miami, and the grandma, she's a bit concerned about that. She's just saying she doesn't want him to go and get in trouble. She doesn't want to get a call that he has gotten into some trouble while he's there. And she's also trying to check with him to make sure, his parole officer knows what he's doing and stuff. And so, they're kind of talking, and they have a fun moment where, Ray brings up how they used to make, I think he said cinnamon toast together. That was their thing that they did together. It made me think about my own grandma and, certain little things that we used to do together. And so, yeah, because one of our favorite things, she used to make cheese toast. So that was one of my favorite as a little snack while we were watching TV. And so she tells Ray, hey, well, maybe that's a tradition that you can pass down to you and Brittany's kids if y'all decide to get married. So that's when her and Ray start talking about marriage and with Brittany. And so Ray says, she talks about getting married and having kids a lot. The grandmother says, yeah, Brittany is about that age. I wish she had said, yeah, Brittany's at the top of that age if that's what she wants to do. And so she also says, she asked him if he is going to get Brittany a ring, an engagement ring. And so Ray says he's gotten her a ring, but it's not an engagement ring; it's a promise ring. And so um, his grandmother ends up telling him, kind of giving him some advice on how to approach the whole situation. And it was like, maybe when you give it to her, you let her know this is a promise ring, but, it'll lead to more things, that this is just, a start and where I'm at right now. And, maybe that'll pacify her, which I felt like was a great advice to give him, especially dealing with that crazy woman there. All right. So what did you guys think of Brittany and Ray? Even though we truly didn't see Brittany.
Yeah. I guess I've never understood the appeal of a promise ring. I would have rather you had just kept saving your money and get me the engagement ring. So I'm not too thrilled with promise ring type thing. I guess that's what she gets and why she gets so mad and calls it BS when she gets it. But I like that he's being responsible. I really do like Ray. You just kind of get the mentality of where he's coming from, why he doesn't want to get married yet, why he's trying to just build up his own. I think he said my bank account ain't your bank account. And, like it's nice to see that he's trying to have his own and not live off of her. So, and I like that he has the relationship he has with his grandmother. And I thought it was pretty cool of her to be, you know, honest with him and just saying, giving him good advice. And then I think at the end he did realize maybe the promise ring wasn't the route to go after she said something. I can't quite remember how she put it, but he kind of thought about it and was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do it. So I don't know. I think it's cool. The dynamic is cool. It would be interesting if they ever did get the grandma and Brittany's mom together. So the grandma can put Brittany's mom in place. I can't stand that woman. But outside of that, yeah, I thought it was a cool scene.
Yeah, because Ray's grandmother would pull up in her ride in her whip, and
In her whip.
and Brittany mom be like, "What? You driving that? Where y'all from again?"
Yeah, I can't wait. I just really want to see where they bring her to his house or his parents' house so she can shut up about where he's from and why he does what he does when you don't have nearly what his parents have. You're nowhere near in their same game or same bracket, just she's just that's a whole nother story. I know she wasn't even on here this time, so why give her airplay?
Her in that wig.
Yeah. Oh, she was horrible.
They just brought back a nightmare, terrible nightmare.
I know. Took my head back with the crazy laugh on that wig.
I was laughing. I saw that on a TikTok where they show the Amazon wigs and how they show how it looks on Amazon and what it looks like in real life.
Yeah. What you
That's
know
what
versus not. Yeah.
Yeah, I was advised to get a wig instead of getting my hair cut in the bangs, to get a wig instead. So I've been looking for wigs for my birthday, but I'm just like, this is hard. I don't
You can
shop
even buy
for
fake
things like
bangs.
that. Fake bangs?
Yeah. Like a
Yeah.
little clip on.
Huh. See, I don't even know all that stuff exists.
You just gotta find one that's your hair
Look,
color.
and clearly neither does Brittany's mom.
Yeah.
She didn't understand the assignment.
No, all she
So,
understood was
so if
she
I
got the
straighten
Wish
my
app on
hair,
her phone, so she thought it was okay to go ahead and order it from the Wish app.
Yeah, you
so
could put a
if
bang right there, and then
and I
it'll,
just put the
you know.
bangs
Mhm.
right here and then have it in my hair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Something to think about.
Yeah. I didn't seen like they have all kind of lace front, you name it. But,
Uh,
well, I don't know. I, as everybody else, I love the grandma too, and she, I like that she told him, like even the part about Brittany's mom, even though I don't agree with everything Brittany's mom put him through, but he
Mm-hmm.
was saying like when I met her, she was a little hard at first, but she asked, or he said she asked him a lot of questions. But I mean, I do agree with that part. She should ask you a lot of questions, like
Right.
you've been in prison, you married, my daughter in a serious relationship with you. I want to know
Who
a
you
whole lot
are.
about you, and I
Yeah.
want to hear from you. But I still think Brittany could have filled her in some, but because it seemed almost like she knew nothing. But maybe she didn't want to know either. Who knows? Maybe she wouldn't let her talk about him. But I do like that the grandma's understanding. She probably, if she knew how much she was drilling and what she put him through, I don't know if he's told them that because I probably wouldn't. Um, she probably wouldn't agree with all that, like 3 paychecks and all that stuff. But I'm kind of glad she was kind of, so he didn't feel crazy about everything.
Yeah, about the way she was treating him. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think it was too bad, just the questioning piece. This is the other stuff I didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as the promise ring, as soon as he said that though, I was like,
Brittany is not going to take
don't
that
do
very
that.
well.
Like I wish somebody
Which,
could have went and said, don't do that. Don't do, no, no,
yeah,
no, no.
no,
It's better
which I
nothing.
feel like, especially getting a promise ring, like his situation, I can understand him giving her the promise ring. Like, look, I want to get married to you. Just give me a little bit more time. But I feel like Brittany's not going to appreciate that. She
Mm-mm.
can't look at the situation like, okay, you know what? He's been in prison the last 8 years, his whole adult life, and he's just giving me this ring, asking me to wait a little bit longer. Because, I mean, there's women out here right now waiting for rings who won't see anything, you know?
Yeah.
But at least
Them
he's
the
trying to
man
get
like
something.
30
But I don't
years.
think Brittany is going to appreciate it. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And like Johnny said, that's probably why she like snaps in the little previews. But um like I feel like she's not gonna appreciate it. But then at
No.
the same time, I don't know, because like I mean they could always get kind of engaged and then I mean he could still kind of delay that part. I don't know, because if you give her a ring, she might be like tomorrow we gonna get married tomorrow.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know how she really would act, but um I just don't think that promise ring is gonna go over well. I don't even know why he even thought it would. I really do think that it's better to show up in Miami with nothing. I don't, you know what? But I don't know. It's a
But
lose
again,
lose for
I can
him.
kind of see
It's a
why he
lose lose for
might
him.
have thought that that was okay because he's giving her something, but I just don't think she's gonna see it in that way. I feel like she's almost like an all or nothing type of person.
Mhm.
But like I said, he's been locked up for his last, for his whole adulthood. Why would he just come out of prison and get engaged immediately?
But
But
you
I don't
know,
think she's gonna be able to see it like that because she's pressuring him already.
yeah.
And it's like allow him to be free for a little bit before all of this is going down and going on.
Yeah. I mean, especially if they're willing to have babies before marriage, it ain't like that's the reason that she wants to hurry up and get married is because I want babies. I ain't
Right.
wasting my time. They willing to have babies whenever. So really and truly,
Yeah.
you really don't have a reason to rush it if that's how you feel. Because I would be more understanding if she was like, I want to get married so I can have a baby. Then I get it. But
Yeah.
I also feel like because of so to me, if he was under the promise ring, I feel
Mm.
like it would be more justified maybe younger. And then if you look at the age appropriateness, well, I ain't gonna say age appropriateness because you can be any age and do it, but usually promise rings is more younger people do it. However, if you are not sure that she's gonna want to marry you, or you both have talked about marriage, but both are like not now, it's not the time, then maybe get doing a promise ring saying, but we are promising we gonna give it that time. And when the time is right, then we get engaged, then we get married. But I want you to have this because I promise I'm gonna be with you regardless. And then that engagement ring gonna be something nice because hey, this promise ring is just
Yeah.
this is it right now. And then later, but I think because of the way she pressures him, because me personally, if the person knows I want to get married and I want to get married soon, then I honestly I wouldn't want a promise ring. I'd rather let's just do this ring and do the marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, the promise ring, I don't know. It wouldn't be necessary for me, but I do feel like when it comes to her, she's gonna just dog that out. Like, cause I know if especially if he opens up a box and what he gonna get down on one knee and say, will you promise to be, you know what I'm saying? Because if he set it up almost like an engagement or something in front of her people,
Now that I would think is out of line. Now, if you
yeah.
give somebody a promise ring, I don't think you do not need to be dropping down to your knees and for that moment giving that person that hope that it's something else. That's
He
just
better do
cool
that
to me.
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But then it's hard too, because then if she wear the ring, they like, oh, did he ask you? And it's no, he just said he promises he'll be with me. It's a tough situation because anybody who knows her knows how she feels about engagements and marriage. And I feel like for him to even do it, it's a lose-lose because you don't show up with a ring, she's gonna be mad. But then you show up with a ring that's saying I promise to be with you. She probably feel like, well, you already did that when we said we was gonna be together. So I don't need no ring for you to do that. I need the ring to say we finna get married soon, not to tell me that I promise to get engaged soon. So for some people, it ain't gonna work. And I think for them, that ain't gonna work. Like that ring just better be to me, that's our starter engagement ring. And probably by the time we walk down the aisle, I have my better ring or something. I
But
don't know.
I feel like that also definitely needs to be like a conversation. Not that I'm
Yeah.
about to do a promise ring, but how would you feel about getting a promise
Yes.
ring?
Yes. Because
So you need to know how that person feels because you can find out really easily whether they want a promise ring or not.
yeah.
They'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's why I said like to me, a promise ring is more like we long distance, so we promise we're gonna keep this together, and then when we get together, whatever. Or like a lot of times younger people do it because they're not ready for marriage or engagements, or somebody has talked to the person about it. You know what I'm saying? So that hey, we want to get married eventually, and we probably want to get engaged, so we'll do this, because this is just our next step. But Brittany ain't asked for that next step. She didn't ask for no promises. She asked for her engagement ring, and she has made that plain and clear. That's why I said when he said that engagement ring, I'm like, it kind of messed up that whole moment of them in there cooking and having a good time for me because I was just like, this girl gonna snap on you, boy. She is gonna snap
And
on
she's gonna
you.
snap. She's
I
not
mean,
gonna
Like I
be
he's
couldn't
happy.
kind of
even.
in this like he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard
Yeah,
place.
he is.
So he really should just give her the promise ring as the engagement ring
Yeah,
to shut
and
her up
say,
and say it's an engagement ring. It ain't what she wants, but you got the
What,
engagement ring.
but I'd
what's
be like,
going
you
on
pushed
over there,
me to
Sean?
do
You
it
said
so
no.
soon. No, but
You
see,
said
if
no.
if she's pushing him too soon, then say this is all
Yeah.
I can afford right
This
now.
is all I can
This is your
afford.
engagement ring. And
You know
hopefully by
good
the
well.
time we get married, I'll have something better. Or once we get married, I'll get you something better. I promise I'll
Yeah.
upgrade it. But right now, this is what you're gonna get if you pushing me.
What
And it be
what
and
is
it still be
her
inside the little 25-cent box. I'm like, you keep pushing me, and this is what you're gonna
Yeah,
get.
exactly.
I don't care if your ring look, your finger can turn green. You wearing that ring.
Right.
And you
Because
better
this
have it
is
on
what you wanted.
every day.
Yeah,
I
Every
kept
day.
yeah,
telling
yeah.
you I'm not ready and I can't afford that. But
Mhm.
since you want to push it and you keep putting me in these situations where you're making me feel like I have to do it, then this is what I'm gonna do it with this. And
Yeah,
you
we're
better
gonna
be
paint.
happy about it and keep it
Look,
moving
we're gonna paint that ring and paint your finger every day.
every
You're gonna wear
day.
that ring. We're gonna put the little clear polish on your finger and we're gonna paint that ring silver every day. So
I do. I
Yeah.
just feel for him. I
yeah, I do
mean,
too, because she gonna
he
go
picked
off.
the
Y'all
beast.
know she gonna embarrass that
Yeah.
man. And he
He
don't
picked
Yeah,
the
deserve
she's
beast.
that.
not
He does not
understanding.
deserve that.
She's not understanding of his situation.
No,
She's
she's
really not understanding of his life, period. Like, this man is creating a whole new life.
That part.
mm-hmm.
That
She needs
girl,
to be with
and y'all
Beyonce.
seen. Y'all
And you
seen how
have to
she
also
acted at the
realize,
house.
yeah,
She
his
gonna
debt
go.
isn't
That was a
tangible.
preview.
Yeah. His debt's not tangible. It's not like you can move into his house debt or you can ride in his car debt. It's a debt you don't see. You know what I'm saying? But he has to pay it. And
So I
I
feel
mean,
like you
that's
take
what you're
what you can
choosing to,
afford,
you
and then
choosing to you're choosing to commit to that. You're choosing to be
mhm,
with that.
Yeah,
And
and it's not like this is a surprise. Like you met him at the mall, and then all of this is laid out. You've been talking to
mhm,
him while he was in prison, so you already should have had an inkling
mhm.
that if I'm going to want to move forward with marriage or anything with this man was out for a short period of time as an adult, and now I expect him to come out of prison and then be a family man and a husband to me and all of this
Mhm.
immediately.
She
and
should have
that was
saved
a
her
whole
money and
other
bought her own
thing.
ring, and then be like,
Yeah,
"When you ready, hand this to me."
and that was the other thing that his grandma brought up too, because he used to party a lot before he went to prison. And sometimes when you start going back into that lifestyle, it might start picking up, oh, you know what? I got away with it this time. Let me go clubbing again, or let me do this, or let me do
Mhm.
that. Not saying he's trying to put himself back into going to jail or anything like that, but he liked to party. She likes to party. So who knows what that'll open up to.
Right.
Like, when I put him on a nice outfit, them girls in Miami might go crazy. She better be
Girl,
careful.
I know I kept looking at him. I think it's just because you're learning who he is as a
Mhm.
person too. And you're finding him more and more attractive because you know what he's going through. You see who
Mhm.
he's with, and you're just like, I can't believe. I just never
Mhm.
understand the men who deal with the women like that. I don't get it.
But you
It
know
doesn't
what?
make sense.
When she showed her butt at that house, he
And
knew
he,
what he was
yeah.
dealing with before he bought that promise ring. So she go out on him.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, we still were confused. I was still confused how he ended up apologizing. He
Yes.
apologized before she did, and he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, when she
So
owed him the cousin and the friend breakfast.
she owed him all
Next
an
day.
apology. She owed them a
Yeah.
whole new thing, but
She owed them
he didn't.
breakfast, lunch, and
He
dinner
didn't
that
get
day.
that.
That next day, like, and she threw the pillow in the. You know what I'm saying? You can sleep on the couch. And storms up, and then you bring. Mm-mm. You told me to sleep on
I
the
just
couch
don't
too.
get it. That's why
I
I
woke
said
up,
I'm
my
just not
cooking hand
crazy
hurt, so
enough.
you ain't get no breakfast.
I'm not crazy enough. Maybe by the time I'm 60, I'll be crazy enough. That's why I'll be married by 65.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean, you've been
You
quiet
said
over
no
there. What
breakfast.
did you think about Brittany and Ray?
No, I was saying that he shouldn't give her that ring and say that's the engagement ring because she's not going to go for it. I agree with all what y'all was saying. But the grandmother did give him some good advice, and he it seems like he did listen and paid attention to what she was saying. And I do think he's not going to give her a promise ring. I think he might give her a necklace or something like that. And with her, the way in her mind, I think she see it as he's going to propose to her. And once he proposed to her, one of her friends who she had invited is a minister, and they are licensed in the state of Miami. So after he proposed, she's gonna be like, okay, now we can get married, and and she's gonna have two witnesses there. So she already got the whole thing planned out.
Oh
So
yeah.
I asked him not to give her a promise ring or
I'm
any ring.
just,
Yeah,
she's going to, as soon as she get the ring, going like blow
that's
her,
right.
make a little whistle, and then here comes the officiants and everything. We can just do it now, Ray. We're at
Hmm.
this beautiful beach. Let's do it
Yeah.
now.
Picked a
What?
white
What?
birthday outfit.
I
Yeah.
said, what's
Yeah, she
stopping
gonna
you?
be
What's
wearing a white
stopping
dress for her birthday.
you?
Absolutely. She gonna magically
And
have a
that's the part
bouquet.
that, yeah, and that's like totally so selfish because again, it's all about her and her family and nothing
Right.
about his. So if she does plan it like that, that's just crazy because I'm sure he'd be like, well, where's my family if this is what we were going to do?
Oh,
Oh,
she
we're
doesn't
gonna
care.
do it again. We're gonna do it again when we go back to Texas.
Oh
That's
yeah, we'll
so
have
crazy.
another wedding when we get
Uh-huh.
back,
Just
and
for
they can
you.
all come to that one.
Uh-huh.
That's
So
so funny because I'll be in Texas for Christmas and probably go to Houston to party a little bit. So if I see
oh,
Ray,
okay.
I'll be like, "Hey, Ray!"
I'll tell you, Brittany has put it out there. He's great in bed.
He's
He's
great in
breaking
bed.
headboards.
Mm-hmm. So
That's all I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying there.
mm-hmm.
All
But
right, so Sean, that was your thoughts.
now there's something else I said I wanted to comment on, but I forgot. But all right. Yeah, that's it. I ain't got nothing else.
The promise ring, or would you give a girl a promise ring?
No, I wouldn't give a promise ring. I'm too old to be making promises that not either it is or it's not.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
I would say unless you talk about it. If you talked about it, whatever. But because everybody's different.
You're in agreement, yeah.
So she'd be like, Sean, I know you're not ready for the commitment, but you can promise to be ready for the commitment in a few years.
But you know what? I want my promise ring to be nice too, though. So you give me a little cute promise ring. I'm like, I don't promise until you give me a better ring.
All right.
Too
Then I
funny.
would go to the local pawn shop, and in those bubblegum machines, how they have the little rings in there.
Yeah,
And
that's the ones I was talking about.
keep on putting in a nickel and keep on putting in a nickel until finally a ring comes out and be like, here you go. I promise that one day.
Yeah, that's the ring I was talking
Well,
about.
I say
Probably I still
I
have it
would,
in a little bubble.
yeah. Like my opinion on the promise ring. Like if this man comes to me and he's talking to me, he's like, "Yes, you know what? I really do want us to get engaged, but maybe right now, I just lost my job, or I just had to, bury one of my parents, so I spent a lot of money there, or whatever." If you come to me and you have, there's a valid reason behind it, I could go for that. But if you're just doing it to shut me up or
Well,
something like that, I'm gonna have a problem with it.
well,
But I
Nina,
feel like
I
communication.
expect that from you because you're 21 years old. But for us older
Oh
folks,
wow,
us
okay.
older folks, we ain't got time for them promises now. Either you in or you out.
I was laughing. Yeah, because that's even like when you sit there and you're dating somebody. I've gotten to the point now where we're either dating or we're married. If there's no in between anymore, I'm dating you or we're married.
You don't even want to be
I
engaged.
don't even like saying I have a boyfriend. I feel too old for that. Oh, that's my man. I'm too old for that. We're dating, husband, one or the other. It there's no more in between. And that's where I'm at now because it's just you sit here and you commit, you do whatever for whatever and nothing comes of it and then you're just sitting here again just like it's just weird. I've just
How do you
gotten this
get to
whole
the
new thing
marriage
in
if
my
there's no in
headset.
between? So you don't even want to be proposed. You just want to just
No,
be
I'm saying
like,
like if I'm dating
mhm.
or I can say fiance or husband, but boyfriend, man, all that stuff in between, there's just no more in between. Dating,
So ain't no
engaged,
commitment until
married. There's no
you
more
put a ring on
commitment.
it. Got
Shoot,
it.
screw
I
it.
get it now. I get what you're saying.
It's too much. Too old for this. Shish.
All right.
Look, he got to put a promise ring on her because it's like, I just want to be her boyfriend right now. But
I
she
don't
promise
know.
me.
You can promise I'll wear the ring and you can say whatever promises, but we're dating.
And then there's something else. If you're gonna give a woman a ring, don't give her a ring with a cubic zirconium in there. At least spring for a diamond or two.
Here's a promise. See, I promise one day to
No,
give you a
no.
Does
diamond.
that
I'm
matter?
sorry. I'm sorry. If a man gives me a piece of jewelry that is fake, he'll never see me in it. You're not gonna see me in it. Because how am I gonna go showing off something that's cubic zirconium to people? And other people can tell.
Do it
That's
like
I feel
I
like
don't
that
think
looks
people can
worse than
tell
me
like
actually,
that.
huh?
the police officers on the movies, the fake ones. They do it real quick. There you go.
So every time I show
Nah,
my ring,
everybody
I
be
gotta look
like, let
like
me
that.
see.
Like no, like no.
Women can't get away with it because, man, we'd be like, let me see your ring. Let me see your
Yeah, they gonna grab your hand in a heartbeat. Ooh, let me see. Like no.
ring. Send us
So you gotta
pictures.
give me something that's real. So
But it's a
hopefully he's not
promise.
trying to get something fake.
It's only a promise ring, though.
But again, I'm not wearing fake jewelry given to me by a man. I'm not. I don't care if it's a necklace. I'm my ears are so finicky. I can't put a lot of fake earrings in, even in my ear. So I mean, if you're gonna give me some jewelry,
But
it's
but but the man
real.
just lost his job. He just buried the
Then you
love,
can wait to give it
and
to me.
he
Wait
came to you and he
until
said,
you
"I
can
promise one day I'm going
afford
to marry you."
half a carat or whatever. But do not give me cubic zirconium to wear on my hand, because at the end of the day, your engagement ring is a representation of your man too.
Oh
And
no, no, no! We
so,
ain't talking about engagement rings. We talking about promise
A
rings.
promise ring.
okay,
Yeah.
even a promise ring, I don't want a fake one.
Man,
No.
I'm not gonna
But
wear
so
it.
many people have gotten away from that too. Like I kind of I struggle and it could just be because I've never been married and I've never had the ring on my finger. But I do like a nice house. So if he were to buy, it would be hard for me to sit here and be like, I have a $10,000 ring on my hand when I really want this nice ass house over here. That could be a down payment towards a house. So I don't know. It's
It
all
ain't
in
gonna be 10,000 to be real.
Right, right. You can get a very nice ring for 2,500.
You can get a nice one cheaper than that.
Yeah. So
See,
I
I don't know.
don't understand that of it. Even yeah, I don't know.
To be real, like my
Yeah,
wedding engagement ring, because we both was broke, it came from a pawn shop, but it had real diamonds in it, and
yeah, and that's something I would. If you're gonna get me a really nice ring from a pawn shop, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. But don't bring me nothing fake. Don't bring me something fake, because I promise you, you will not see it on my hand. Because I just
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I can't do that.
Well, okay. So,
but I say you can give Brittany something fake if she want to act like if she act up, just because look, shit,
You think he
we
should give
told
her
you I
something
can't
fake?
afford it. You chose to be with a man that couldn't afford it.
Yeah. Oh, like it's like to me with her, she needs to understand her reality.
Mm-hmm.
She's like Deonte and stuck in this fantasy world.
Yeah.
And Ray wants to be that man. It's not like he's not trying to be that man or anything, but you got to give him time to get to be that man. God, you just can't just throw everything on him like that. I mean, but he's allowing her to too. So I don't know if he's doing it because he feels or guilty because of the fact that she stood by him through all of that or
Yeah,
whatever the case may be. It's not like she stood by you from the beginning through prison towards now.
right.
She was only towards the end of your prison sentence. So I don't know. It's just like I said, you always end up seeing these good guys with these trifling crazy ass women, and it's just always
Mhm.
so crazy to me.
Yeah, because one thing too is the in the preview how she was snapping on him as for whatever he had gave her and how she
Mm-hmm.
was responding to him. I hope he took that as strike number two and he move on, or at least say something, do something, because she done already act a fool in front of your friends, and
Right.
now she's acting a fool in front of her friends. So she done showed you her tail twice. So,
Right.
so he needs to what you call on that one. Tell her this is the reason why you got a promise ring and not the real deal because
yeah,
of the way you acting. Now, when you promise
right,
to do better, then I'll promise to give you an engagement ring. Yeah,
right.
Pretty much, I agree with that.
mm,
Yeah, you see that. Okay, so next we have Puppy and Amber. All right, and so Puppy meets up with Amber and her mom, and they are going dress shopping. But apparently, Amber and
it's
Puppy's
like,
mom don't know about the engagement. So she also announces her engagement to them. They start asking her questions like, "Well, how did this happen? When did this? Stuff like that." So she explains to them um, how he proposed through a text message, which again, it's like all about the context of how you tell somebody something. I felt like when she first said it, she almost made it seem like he just sent her a text asking her. No, y'all were sitting on the couch, even though she did kind of break it down. But at first, you didn't give it to these people, I felt like, in the right way. Um, and then, so she's trying on the dresses that she's picked out. And so Amber and Puppy's mom they're sitting off to the side and they're having a conversation. And they're like, why is she rushing? Is she rushing because of the warrant? What is going on? And Puppy overhears them a little bit. And of course you can see she gets very defensive. And she's like, hey, do y'all not like Eric or something or whatever? So then they explain to her, kind of where their questioning is and stuff. And it's like, and they also let her know she needs to handle the warrant. But it seems like she's not too phased about this warrant or handling the warrant. And you can tell they're getting frustrated with her because she's not showing like concern
mm-hmm.
about handling this warrant. Okay. So then Amber ends up leaving the shop. I don't think she bought a dress, but she left the shop and she returns home where Eric's sitting like out on the porch. And they sit down on the porch and they talk. And so Puppy tells him, like, she went dress shopping and, tells him she saw some things that she did like. And then she brings up the fact that Amber and her mom were suggesting that she should turn herself in. And then Eric said something that kind of made me laugh, even though I know it wasn't funny. He was like, tell them to go turn themselves in. And I just feel like it was funny to me the way he said it. I get it. It's not.
Yeah, it was.
And then also both of them are ex-convicts, so I think that was the other thing that kind of made me giggle.
Mm.
And so he doesn't want her to turn herself in. That's what he basically says. And it's like, well, they can't pick you up if you're running or whatever. But you see, Puppy doesn't really want to go on the run, even though she's saying she will go on the run with him. But that's not what she necessarily wants to do. All right. All right. So, what did you guys think of Puppy and Amber this week?
I think Puppy need to turn herself in. No.
Yeah.
First, before she turned
Yeah.
herself in, I think she need to listen to what Amber said. Call the chief person and talk to the chief person, the
Right.
manager, whoever's in charge of the office. Explain to them what's going on. That way, she'll have somebody hopefully convince someone to be on her side, and then that way they can go from there. I'm pretty sure they're gonna
Right.
tell her to turn herself in. Then turn herself in. And I think the reason why she's not turning herself in is I blame Eric, because the only reason why he don't want her to turn herself in is because he's jealous of Amber, and he don't want her to listen to Amber, because if she turned herself in, then that means she took Amber's side over, yeah,
Yes.
over his side. So
Hmm.
and but he need to step up and convince her, yeah, go ahead on. But then again, I see why he's kind of uh don't want her to leave, because he feared that if she do go to jail, all this temptation out there, he might not be faithful, because of the fact that when he went to jail, the person he was with wasn't faithful to him, because of all that temptation that was out there. But if you love a person, you're gonna wait for the person. Wait for the person.
Right.
Or don't propose to her. Give her a promise ring. He'd be good. I promise that I'll be faithful to you,
I feel
and when
like
you get
Puppy
out,
would have
be good.
taken a promise ring. I feel like she would
Mhm.
have.
So,
That was a nice ring though that he gave her.
Yeah, he did give her a nice ring though.
hmm so they through what sickness and health and death do us part. So if you're gonna be with her, then hey, be with her. And
Yeah.
just and hope that she don't be in there no 20 something years. But he can always visit her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, he might be scared that she might have temptation on the inside.
Inside, yeah.
But some prisons will allow them to have conjugal visits. So
yeah.
maybe she might end up at an institution where he can go down there and, get a dip.
Yeah, but he ain't worrying about him getting a dip. He worrying about someone else, wanting her
About a new
to.
Amber getting the dip.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was, he also probably don't want her to go in because of the temptation that she might have on the inside
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, I think she should just go ahead on and take Amber's advice and talk to the people, get
Yeah.
that thing over with, and be done with it. And then on the other thing about the wedding dress, and how she was trying on her wedding dress, and Amber making a big deal about the way he proposed, and how she's saying that, oh, I wouldn't want somebody to propose to me. I want somebody to propose to me on their knees and all that type of stuff.
Hmm.
Never proposed to me, and
Yeah. And then something else she said that was kind of like, she was like, I want the MFer to get on his knee. And at least that's, I'm like, okay, so this is how you think about your future husband as an MFer, and he needs to get on his knee.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, so yeah, she tripping. She,
Yeah.
yeah. So, so yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I kind of felt like she was kind of haterish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Amber. Yeah.
yeah, with the way she was all like, I don't know if he deserved that dress, you know. And it's
Yeah. Then
like,
she had also slick said, well, you'll always be my wifey, when she was like, I won't be your wifey anymore. Like, girl, you don't
yeah.
want her. Stop playing with her.
And I felt like Puppy was like, well, I love him. I'm gonna be with him. I love him. You know, I think she said that when they was out there or whatever. She's like, well, I
Yeah.
love it. So, um, but I don't like how Puppy. I mean, I get it. I get it. She's scared. She don't want to lose him. She don't know if he'll wait for her. All that stuff. But I think she is being a bit much. But then if you saw the preview, like Eric said something about let's just run, and I'm like, he ain't doing nothing to help it. He is not, just encouraging that craziness. But um, I do feel like Sean said, she needs to turn herself in or talk to the chief, whatever she got to do. Um, They just get it taken care of. Because the longer she waits, the more than likely to me the chance of her going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
really feel like it's something that probably could be worked out. I don't know if they'll say I don't care, you still going, but I don't know. Like try, because I feel like then you leaving the state, you doing all this stuff, so you're gonna be doing extra. If she, because she said she want to go to Vegas, I might say you're gonna do extra stuff that you ain't got permission to do. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. I just feel like she just playing with fire, and
No,
you know,
that's all
but
it takes is one traffic stop.
Yeah,
yeah,
right. And then if she goes to Vegas and gets married, there's documentation that you broke your probation at that point. It's
yeah, because
paperwork,
they're gonna have the
a
dates.
paper trail. Yeah, that
Yep.
you left.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm like, she just needs before they do anything. Like, if y'all just gonna go elope, then just go to the courthouse locally. Like, don't even try to go do nothing crazy or fancy out of state. Go to the court. But I guess if she goes to the courthouse, they might be able to get her there too. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, they could pick her up in that courthouse.
Yeah.
So how are they even gonna get the license? You can't. Well, I guess in Vegas they would do it all.
Yeah. Or unless they
I,
maybe go a county over or a state over, maybe they can do it
I
then.
don't know. I feel like they still was here. Well, she would probably have to leave the state to not see the warrant.
Yeah,
So
but
I
see,
don't know.
yeah, well,
Wasn't the warrant
so why
tied
she
to
has to
your
get the
driver's
license?
license?
Yeah,
Ain't it tied
but
to your name,
Yeah,
driver's social?
I
it's
Mm-hmm.
don't
tied
know
to like your
if
driver's license. And I know when you go get your marriage license, you have to show your driver's license. I can't remember. I don't think they ran mine, but you do have to go get the license in order to even get married at the courthouse. Well, to get married here, you got to go get the license. So I don't know what they do with your information.
see, but they might not in Vegas. I don't know if they do that with the when you go to the Elvis thing. I don't know if you got to come with a license or if they do it all for you there. I don't know, because Vegas is a different beast. Like people
Yeah,
did drive through weddings, and I don't know if they're like, hey, do you already got the license? I don't know because I ain't never do it, but um, I know it's
Yeah,
easy
because
to
I
get
would
divorced in
think
Vegas, but I don't know
they
about
wouldn't have
America.
access to Georgia's state database because the
Yeah,
warrant isn't federal.
yeah,
So I wouldn't think they'd have access to the state database. But I mean, even when you fly out now, they've gotten so many things with these driver's license now. Like, you have that new star on the top of your driver's license that
yeah, saying it's
you
real.
can't do anything with it without that star anymore. So if you ain't got the star, I don't even think she can fly. I can't
No,
remember
they
when that goes into effect, but I think that goes into effect in the
Mm.
next year or so, 2023,
Well, I
maybe.
guess that means they're gonna drive then.
They have to drive. Like,
Mm.
I don't. I feel bad for her because I feel like she's driving off of fear. But I
mm-hmm.
really think if you were to tell somebody, my mom's going through cancer treatments, we're at the hospital all the time, here's
Mm-hmm.
her medical docs,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them being so like, screw you, you're going to jail,
Yeah,
and then like puppy, not puppy, Amber told her, they talk to somebody who's not even part of the household. They don't
yeah,
have, they have no say of what's going on in that household.
yeah.
Therefore, they're going on hearsay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I bet unless you watching my bill 24/7, you really can't say if I'm
right.
in or
You
out.
can't say I don't live
Mm-hmm.
there,
Uh-huh.
so I really hate that she's driven off of such fear.
Right.
Yeah,
Such fear of losing a man that she's risking her freedom.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. I also blame is it we Robin, right?
We,
Who?
The
Oh, we.
state. Yeah, I
oh,
we,
blame them also because somebody in there should pull on the side and be like, look here now, why don't you go over there and handle this here? And
yeah.
then tell her what can happen if you don't. Go ahead on and take care of this your business because we don't want to lose you as a client or as a customer or whatever. This is your life because you're gonna go to jail if you don't
Yeah.
take care of
And
stuff.
they
Well,
have attorneys. I'm sure they could have possibly given
Right.
her an
yeah.
attorney to deal
But I
with,
feel like with the way they've been using their reality stars, they would almost rather not say something to her, and then she gets arrested on camera.
hmm,
You
yeah,
know.
Mm, yeah.
probably so.
Or they probably
But
what you ought to tell the cops she's leaving. She's at the border now.
I know.
she about to cross over.
She's
She going
in.
to Vegas.
Yeah, she's in Vegas. She's standing next to an Elvis impersonator.
Now
Hmm.
what you
That's
do is
probably when they'll step in. You're right. As soon as she
what
does
you
something that they know will get her
Hmm.
busted. That is probably when
Yeah,
they'll step in.
yeah. Because wouldn't that be accessory to the crime? You know
You
she's committing a
think?
crime.
I know if
yeah,
you took a fugitive across state lines, I mean, that seems like
Mm, mm.
Yeah, you think.
So
hmm,
Yeah, because that sure
Oh,
would get a person if you riding in the getaway car. And you
Right.
didn't even know they went to the bank and robbed the bank. You just sitting in the car.
Right.
she playing with fire, man. I'm like, it just to me, it ain't worth it. Like, I ain't gonna buy this beautiful dress and then turn around and can't even do it because I
And
didn't
take
got
her. I would have just
arrested.
taken her to the what's the name? And you have your mom with you. I would
Mm-hmm.
have just taken her with me to the prison and said, "Look, I'm sorry, puppy. This is what we're doing."
And I was like, sorry, mom, but look, see her port? Yes, she's got cancer. I'm not
Yep,
lying.
she's got cancer. I'm sick. My daughter's been with me to the hospital. I don't even know who y'all talked to because it wasn't anybody in my household, but my
Mm-hmm.
daughter lives with me. She's helping me take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
No parent wants to see their kid go to jail, especially if they can
Mm-hmm.
help prevent it.
Right.
I would help prevent it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Especially if too that'll stop her from rushing into it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure her mom would definitely be like, I'm gonna help, but then the mom kind of incriminated her in a sense, her and Amber in the beginning, if you think about it, because she was like, I haven't seen her or talked to her in a while.
In
So
a while.
kind of when they watch the show, they gonna know it's a lie.
Yeah.
Some of that they shouldn't even put on TV
Yeah, they do a lot of talking on TV that I'm just like, why are
unless this
y'all
one
doing
thing
all
ain't real. That's the only way I can see this not being an issue is if this is
yeah.
just for the show.
Yeah, because
But
if you
Yeah.
think about it, when she turns herself in, they could easily see this and be like, well, you still knew you didn't come and clear this up for how many months or
yeah,
Uh,
years?
and it's like they won't even need that any more evidence. They probably lock her up like you lied to us and said this, but here it is on the show. They were looking for you and couldn't find you. And your mom clearly said, I haven't seen her or talked to her.
Yeah, and then she said there's, well, which I mean, it's a possibility she could not technically live with Eric and she's just there with him every day.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it looks on TV, it does look like you're not
You
living
live
there.
there. Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's why you beat it before they watch it. They can't
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
back and put it back on you again. That would be double jeopardy, I would think. But I don't know. It's just her fear. It's just her weirdness of the fear of going back to jail, but what you're doing would definitely put you back in jail.
Mm-hmm.
right.
More so
And the
if
fact that she
you would
just
just come
blowing it
out and
off
just address the
like it's
issue.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Because it could just be 2 months. And they'd be like,
Could
Yeah, it
be
could
two
be,
months, it
but
It
could
could
be
be
2 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah, it could
two
be a
hours. They just
day. It
hold you
could
till
be
they get it
three
cleared up.
days.
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Especially because that's where I get kind of confused with this when you're looking at people and their nastiness. Is this filmed before COVID?
Yeah.
You
I
ain't
think this was
Yeah.
seen
supposed to
now,
be
Nat.
during
This,
COVID.
this is during
Like,
COVID.
you
During
haven't seen
COVID.
now mask. You ain't seen nothing to indicate COVID has happened yet. Like, no one is doing any kind of, like I said, even when they're in the shopping places, there's no masks. I'm totally confused about when is this whole thing taking place.
Yeah, because they went. Remember, they went from the ranch to the horse to the
Yeah, I was like, when is
no
all
hand
this? And when they
sanitizer.
met the rancher, he didn't have
Yeah,
on a
there was no
mask,
hand
no
sanitizer, no
hand
mask.
sanitizers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, is this pre-COVID?
Okay, and
Y'all done
speaking of
exposed them horses.
nastiness and COVID protocols, our next couple was John and Christiana, right? The last couple we're going to see on this
About those
show.
50 people.
First of all,
Yeah.
those two, they just look nasty to me. Just period. They just look like they're not the cleanest. John looks like he doesn't wash his hands when he comes out the bathroom. I'm sorry, John, but you do. You just have this look about you where I would be shocked if I smelled hand soap when you walk past me coming out from the bathroom because I just don't get it. That is your life. All right. So Christiana is saying that she has a new job, which ended up kind of confusing because she says it's a restaurant, but it's like a burger joint. But when she gets there, they're like making sandwiches
Sandwiches.
and stuff. Yeah, so I was confused by that. And then I was also confused on why were they prepping food with no gloves on.
Go ahead
I'm like,
on.
y'all is nasty. I did not see
Yeah.
any
Ryan.
washing. Yeah,
Nope.
Christiana came through the door and the manager lady or whoever was like, hey, she was like, hey, do you need some help? And she's like, yeah. And then Christiana was right there behind the counter. I'm like, when did you wash your hands?
She didn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
That
Yeah.
was great. I was like, never will I ever step into those restaurants.
Uh-huh. And
Ugh.
that took away everything they were saying, how she's talking about her mom having cancer. And I couldn't concentrate on that. She touched that meat. She touched that bread. She didn't wash her hands. She was crying. She
I know
hugged
she was
the
Yeah,
hairnet.
crying.
they were.
I was
Yeah,
like,
Yes,
both
they
of
were
them were wiping their
disgusting in front
eyes.
of
I'm
that
sorry,
food.
I don't want to say what you cried over. I just
that's,
don't want it.
that's right. If they had
That's not
100
appealing to me.
after that episode, they should be down to to 79.
They
When you
should be
walk
Oh
down
in,
to
yeah,
freaking
where's the health
54.
department when you need them? Where's the
uh,
Yeah,
health?
like
no
because when you think
hairnet.
about the fact that she put her nasty hands inside of the bread package
Uh huh.
and then they closed the bread pack again, just germs,
Uh huh.
Yeah,
just
and then they
nastiness.
were reaching inside the containers that held lunch
All the
meat.
meat and oh
Uh
God, I was just like, oh my God, I will never ever.
huh.
I
I
know
don't
you
plan
think
on
about it
visiting
like,
Iowa anyway, but if I
like
saw that restaurant, I'd be like, hell to the no, we ain't eating there.
Oh no,
I know
I'm gonna
you
see
eating
you
that
either.
sandwich like I asked for no salt on my sandwich. It's really just some tears.
Tears.
Right. Let me tell you, if I saw that restaurant, I'd be whipping my car the way Grandma be whipping that truck of hers,
Yeah,
going in the opposite direction. Like,
we're
I'm not
leaving
going
somewhere
to.
else.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just nasty. No aprons on, no hairnets on. It was just disgusting.
Yeah, I'm going to
Is that
wait
how they
till to get
roll
that
in
tuna.
Iowa?
Yes, so that was ridiculous.
That was
That was
nasty. It was
gross.
just,
That was
I was
totally
so grossed
disgusting.
out. And all the toppings they were touching as they were adding it onto I was like,
The
oh, well,
lettuce,
y'all
the cheese,
go wash your hands. You just wiped your eye. I'm pretty sure she probably did that at her
wiped
nose
your
too.
nose.
Uh huh.
Is that how
Hopefully they
y'all get
just made that
down?
for themselves.
Yeah,
Maybe that was
I'm
their
like, where's
reason.
the save serve people? Come and shut this place down right now. This is crazy.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know. We did get some emotional moments from Christiana because she's talking to this gal about her mom and how her mom has cancer, and she is clean and sober. She wants to stay out of prison, and the girl reveals that she is also clean. But something that did happen that caught my attention. The girl was talking about. She was like, "Yeah, I'm sober now. I've been sober 4 years now." I'm like, why are you looking at
Yeah,
your wrist, girl? Your
yeah,
wrist
I
tells you
saw
how
that
long you've been sober.
too. Maybe she was counting down. Maybe she was counting down. Like, right now, 4 years.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna say 4 years, 5 months, and 22 seconds. Like, but
Uh,
I was like, why is she looking? What is she looking at?
mhm.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So y'all tell me, what did y'all think about John and Christiana this week?
Well, I didn't see much of
Is it?
John, so I'm not going to
Yeah, we
influence
didn't.
John on his hygiene. But the other folks took the cake. And my thing about the emotional uh, stuff, minus the emotional on the food,
Mm,
um, it was that to me she was still complaining about her sister because that's all
Yeah,
I was hearing. My sister is to the girl. Now, like you just met this woman, or if she was the one that gave you the interview, okay, whatever. Y'all not that familiar, but you telling
yeah,
this little woman that your sister might be on drugs and she's not in the picture and she's not helping with my mom and all this type of stuff. So I'm like, okay, you need to let that go. Let it go. Tend to your mom. You see your mom is in a bad place,
mhm.
in a bad state in her life, and her mom needs someone. And if that person's going to be you, then you just step up and be that person, and don't take it out on your sister later on down the road. Because if the mom do pass, based off the way she's acting now, I'm pretty sure she's going to take it out on her sister, and she's going to be
yeah,
like, you wasn't here. I had to do all this here for mama, and you wasn't here. Don't you dare come over here now trying to cry and all this type of stuff. And we can't be friends because when I needed you, you wasn't here for us and you weren't here for mama. So she gonna have to need to let that go and stop telling everybody that her sister's a drug dealer. I mean, a
Yeah.
drug addict.
right. And
So
then one more thing about the nastiness, I forgot. They hugged each other too.
right,
Mhm.
right.
That was. I'm sorry. I thought about that and it just bothered me again.
Mm-hmm.
Just really
Nasty.
bothered me.
How
Yeah.
about I just never eat anything in Iowa.
Wait, she hugged her and didn't have no sleeves, so then
You're touching all that
yeah, you
Deodorant
touching her
probably
armpit.
fell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh-huh. So,
deodorant.
mm-hmm.
hair
Yeah,
Any
crumbs,
type of sweat. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
skin,
mm-hmm.
just
Uh-huh.
nasty. I just won't eat in
And I'll
Iowa.
just
How about that? They must not have food standard protocols in Iowa, so I just won't ever
Uh,
eat there. I'll just starve. I'll just never go
but
to Iowa. I will never
if
get
you
my
do
food.
eat something, make sure they cook it.
Yeah,
Make sure they cook it.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
wouldn't even
They,
do that. I
they
just be
burn
like,
it.
I can't. I think I'm stuck. I don't think I'll ever
Well,
get
you
over
might
being
have a
totally
fighting
starved.
chance against listeria if they at least drop it in some grease or put
Mm-hmm.
it on a hot grill. Because I'm telling
Uh,
you, I want to say I saw about 5 or 6 different diseases going on in this one episode with all of their um, nasty
Just
handling of things.
unsanitary, nasty, just
uh-huh.
nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just nasty. And
They
when you
were
Yeah,
talk
they
about
had a
nasty.
very filthy looking romantic time and Cole in the
Nasty.
bathroom
Yeah. The
dragging
wedding
all those
cake.
germs to the wedding. Like,
Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't nothing, man. Ugh.
Gross.
okay. So, any other
But
thoughts
you
on John and Christiana?
but I do like I agree with Sean about the sister. I'm like, if you want to tell your story, cool, tell your story, but quit telling your sisters every time somebody walk past you. Because it's
Right.
like, you know, if you want to just say it's I got a sister, but hey, I rather not talk about that. This is what's going on with me and my mom and what I'm doing with my mom. But
Yeah,
to keep
because
telling
you
her
can talk
story is just
about
rude.
your experience, but you can't talk about somebody else's experience. Like, you
Mm-mm.
can't,
Right.
nobody can describe what my experience is. I can
And
Right.
only
that
what it is.
what they really gonna feel is, and I mean, hopefully it's not the case. But what if that girl was like somewhere dead and y'all just haven't found out yet? And y'all just sitting here, she probably on drugs. She probably on drugs. She could, something bad could be happening. Y'all have not found out yet.
hmm
So quit dogging the girl out till y'all at least know what's going on too.
right.
Cause
And
I would
two,
feel like crap if I just like I know she back on drugs and that's why she ain't here. She on drugs. She
mhm,
on drugs and she might be dead. Not. I
Yeah.
mean, Lord forbid, because I'm not wishing that on her sister by any means. But you
Hospitalized. She could
don't
be in
know.
jail. There could be a number of
mhm,
things going on.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm
But
Or she
I
like,
don't want,
mean,
or she
my
don't
whole
want to have
thing.
anything to do with them because the husband said don't come, and you
Yeah.
chose your husband over me. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm moving on. You move on with your life. I move on with my life. So yeah.
Well, the whole other thing with that is too, though. It's already stressful enough having somebody around you sick, but she's actually doing you a favor being away if she is doing all of that because now
Right.
you have to worry about that added stress and the mom would still have that added stress when she doesn't need any added stress right now.
hmm
Right.
So sometimes things are happening for a reason and just be thankful that your mom isn't stressed. She might be stressed in the sense of worrying about where she's at, but
Right.
she's not in stress of a sense of knowing where she's at and being worried about what she's doing 24/7. I think that would be a different kind of stress added to her and might not help her, heal or get
Yeah.
better, get into remission. So, like you said, just talk about your experience, what you're going
mm-mm,
through. Your sister will have her own battles if something happens to your mom and she's not a
yeah.
part of it. She'll have to
Mhm.
suffer through that for the rest of her life
Yeah.
as well. So just move
Yeah, because
on.
if you and the mom want to just talk about your frustrations, but quit telling everybody, like, because like
Yeah.
I said, we don't know how long you've known her, and it ain't her business what's going on personally with your sister. If you want to tell her about your past history because you feel like open up about you, and that's it. Like,
Mm,
quit with all this stuff, and then the girl could relate with the mom and stuff. So it's like, why are you tainting your sister for what? Like, what's the gain? Like, you want more sympathy or something? Like, I don't really get it. I didn't get it.
Right.
I don't know. I'm with you, Sean. That was making me mad too.
hmm Yeah, because that, and plus her crying over the food. Because once they was messing up the food with their hands and stuff, I kind of forgot all about the mom situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was
Because I
like,
pulled
maybe
out
that's
my
why.
because I pulled out my cell phone and I googled what are the rules when dealing with food. This one, and then I started thinking about the way sub place, and I was like, well, every time I go there, I know they put gloves on their hands and they touch and then they have the deli. The meat's supposed to be on the paper, deli paper, so they touch the paper, and they put it on your sandwich. So they're not touching the food with their
Right, the
hands.
food.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, that is just so disgusting. Oh, her mom have cancer? Oh, that's sad. But the food
Yeah.
is so
Yeah,
disgusting. So
just
yeah, that's how I
Yeah,
was with that.
it's
I can
nasty.
absolutely feel for what the mom is going through. I can even feel what Christiana is going through with
Mhm.
her mom right now. What I could not feel was the way they were handling that food.
Yeah.
That was
They was
that was
wrong. They shouldn't even put that on camera. I'm sorry. It's
at
just
all.
things you don't put on camera. The
Right.
bathroom
Oh,
scene,
I'm
the
gonna call
patrol
the
came
Iowa
ready.
Health Department and be
You
like,
go
"Do y'all
right.
not investigate people's restaurants?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
because
that
there's
girl
a
gonna be
burger
regretting this shit
joint
right
slash
around.
yeah, because there's a burger joint slash hamburger spot slash sandwich spot that I have some concerns about the safety over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing. If a health inspector from the area watches this show, it's like, oh snap,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
back
I'd
in
run over there
business.
so I can go get my quarter
I
right there.
would. That's
Now.
exactly what I would do. I'd be like, I have proof that y'all are nasty.
Like, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
business been slow.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
COVID got everybody doing things right, but y'all doing it wrong on camera.
Right.
Yeah, because just
Exactly.
imagine what they was doing before COVID.
No,
So
they probably.
yeah.
I wouldn't even miss right. They ain't dropped the meat on the floor, pick it up, and put it on the sandwich the way they had.
Oh, I
Mhm.
would not have been shocked at all. Not at all.
They probably
Yeah.
like, oh,
At
no.
all.
And then the health inspector supervisor should be looking at that and be like, okay, my people ain't doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know
Right.
good and well they have to have at least a D. A D.
Oh,
Because
I've been making press conferences. Look, that restaurant is not in my zone. I
right.
have nothing to do with that restaurant over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like, let's
because
get
hair
this clear.
alone.
Me and my inspectors, we're good over here. We're shutting down places left and right. That's what I was
Mm-hmm.
saying. But,
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
was
mean, like
ridiculous.
we always say, it's totally different when you're not seeing it, but to see it,
Yeah.
you do take a chance every time you go out to eat. But when you're standing in that kitchen or you're standing right there watching how they're behaving with your food, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was at a Subway once and they wouldn't change their gloves. And Subway's normally pretty good about changing their gloves when they go down to they normally take them off right when they're at the register, throw the
Uh-huh.
gloves away, then do whatever at the register, and then go back to the inn and use new
Yeah, because
gloves.
you handling money.
Yeah, but this dude, he didn't. As soon as I saw that, I walked right out. I had one time at a Zaxby's, in the back kitchen, you actually saw somebody rubbing their nose and doing all this, and the
oh,
food was sitting right there. And I was like, "Give me my money back. I'm out."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't do it.
right.
Checkers, they used to have those little bitty fried
All
apples.
right, Joan, you calling out too many
I know,
people,
I'm
Joan.
sorry, but hey, these are my experiences.
I know
My
I'm not going to be able to eat anywhere dealing with Johnny.
I know. My
You
kids
calling
know
out.
if I go into anywhere
Uh,
in Atlanta, anywhere in Georgia, if I see that their restaurant score
mm-mm.
ain't
Yeah.
posting and it's below, I would at least give you about an 86. If it's below 86, I'm walking
Look,
right out the
and
They
restaurant.
about
she
to,
is not lying. There have been times where me and her were going to meet up for lunch. She's like, "Hey, meet me at such and such restaurant." Then I get a text, "Girl, their score is too low. We can't go over there." It has happened. She's telling the truth on that.
yeah,
I
Okay.
knew it.
they about to take your picture now and they're gonna put your picture up
Put
on the
me up
wall.
there. If y'all see her, make sure
Next
y'all
time y'all see
uh,
her coming, change the numbers.
I will. I will ask people. I'll be like, where's your score at? Because it ain't posted. Where's it at? And they'll show it to me. I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
they're supposed to have it posted up. So
they're
yeah,
supposed
tell us
to. That's
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
illegal.
Mhm.
And I'll be looking when I'm in the drive-through and it's right there on the drive window. I'll be looking at their last 3 scores and looking.
Yes, you have to look at their last three scores because they could have failed before that one that they're posting, and their
Exactly.
last three scores is on there. Yep, that is
Yeah.
very correct. And I've
Yep.
seen that.
Yep. So
I
I
ain't
just
never
Why I'm
looked
like,
at
looking,
me.
and
I
I'm
ain't
like,
never looked
wait a
at the
minute,
stuff. Why
y'all
am I
got a
just now
picture
finding
last.
this out?
huh?
I ain't know nothing about scores being posted and junk. What is
Yeah,
this?
Yeah.
In
I want to know.
Georgia,
I
yes.
guess
Now, like when I go to Texas, they don't have a score. They just have a letter grade. So it's
Oh,
A, B, C, D,
I
E.
still
Of
didn't
course,
think
if
I'd be
I
looking
see
at that
anything
either.
past a
I just assume
C,
if they fell and they just closed.
yeah. In
yeah. But
North
no,
Carolina,
because
they
past
got
B,
they
I
can
that.
don't know.
fail, and then they give them, it's a day or two to get it corrected, whatever they
Correct it.
failed, and then they'll give them a higher
A
score.
higher
Mhm.
score, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because the
like
local news,
Martin's. There's a couple of Martins out here that
Mhm.
I've never seen at Martins now because I've seen their scores just be so low. And I'm like, you're
But
dealing with dough and biscuits and
but you know what? Martin's almost kind of reminds me of like Waffle House. It's almost like you see the people in there and it kind of look a little sketchy sometimes, but the food is so good,
you try
At
not
the
to. I
home.
try not to do it, but I think there was a Martins down on Austell. Their score was like a 58.
Oh goodness.
And the line was still wrapped around the damn restaurant. I was like, I can't do it. I will never go back. Never
Yeah,
been
Mm-hmm.
because
back.
people probably didn't
They're
notice it.
probably like me, never even paid attention to no
I
no
just can't
numbers and no
imagine.
letters.
Like you're even when you're rolling out the dough and you cut it and you put it in the oven, there's not enough germs. There's not enough heat in that oven that kills all them germs that you done rolled into that dough.
For me, even if the germ was killed, let's say a little snot got on there, um, it's the fact that the snot was there.
It's in
That's my
there. Like
yeah.
Go eat that
I can't
snot,
do
buddy.
it. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Seasoning.
I haven't been able to
Uh-huh.
go back to Piccadilly because we went in there one day and their score was like a 65. And I said, oh my gosh, I've been eating here I don't know how many times and I ain't never seen their score that low. I ain't been able to be back. Ain't gone back.
Mm-mm. I
I
heard Piccadilly in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they ain't
It's
got nothing up
probably the
there.
one of very few, but when I saw that score, I
Yeah,
was like, I'm out.
yeah,
And I
because they
ain't been
used to
back.
get.
Every time somebody's like, you want to go to Piccadilly? Nah, they scores a 65. And then it makes you wonder how low do they have to fail
To
for them to
close.
shut it down for them to do better.
Right.
I'm not for
Because
sure, but I know it has to
The
be pretty
Martins was on the
low.
news. Yeah, the Martins was on the news. That's how I knew that score. And I was like, I can never eat there again. But Piccadilly, they were still functioning with their score sitting right there. And I was like, I
So
don't
what is
understand.
Waffle House's scores? I wonder.
I, I don't know. I know
They
one
they
actually.
range.
Yeah,
They
I know
range. There's
one
sometimes
actually closed not too long ago. They had shut that one down and they couldn't serve anybody for a couple of days. But
80. They're normally 85s to 90s.
Yeah.
I very rarely see brand new the newer ones, I would say are closer to hundreds. Now the ones that are downtown, there was one that I went to outside of it was by the wheel,
Hmm.
Centennial Wheel. They were
mhm.
actually 100 and it was actually really clean in there. So
Yeah, I
it was a
bet that food
different
was
vibe
nasty
in that
because
one.
that cast iron ain't ready.
I know, right?
It ain't ready. That mess just
I
tastes
know
like
those waffles. The waffle iron wasn't
I know
dirty
they're
enough.
so good,
Have
but
rust.
yeah.
especially
You
I
ain't
think
got that
since
flavoring in there
COVID.
yet.
I haven't
Right.
been able to enjoy Waffle House since COVID just because I know I sacrificed enough before COVID. But now, if I were to see some things, I'd just be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll learn how to make my own waffles at from my house. I'll get me a new waffle iron.
You gotta have that old one though,
Okay.
'cause you know what I'm
I
saying?
know that has all the good stuff on it.
Yeah,
I
and
Yeah.
that's got to be why the new ones don't taste right to me.
Yeah.
I
It
went to a
has.
new Waffle House and I was like,
yeah,
that's
they got
nasty.
some
I'm like,
clean
I ain't
iron.
never. I typically don't feel like that because Waffle House. My sister know that used to be man. I love me some Waffle House. Even like it was a time I went to one in Arizona, and when I came out, I saw the dudes pushing some like it wasn't like trash, but it was like a pallet, a wooden pallet thing. I guess they had got some stuff and then they threw it into the dumpster. Then they climbed in and was stumping it down. I'm like, thank God I saw that after I ate because they had their uniforms on.
See, I went Jim and Nick's. There's a Jim and Nick's out here. Went
Don't tell me
Mm.
nothing bad about Jim and Nick's.
Well, don't go to the one in Hiram. So we went. We were sitting there passing around
uh,
Jim and
mm,
Nick's,
mm,
and we
mm.
normally eat there. And sure enough, we saw these two guys climbing up in the trash can, stomping it down.
Yeah,
And I'm
Well,
like, and then when they get out, they don't change their clothes, and they
nope.
just went right back into the
Go
back of
back
the food.
in.
And I was like, and I told me and my son were sitting there like, yeah, I can't do it. Even it's been months since we've seen that. I can't go back to that Jim and Nick's. I like the one on
shoot,
South Cobb personally. That one does
I
taste
have
better to
not
me.
been to that one in Hiram that you're speaking on probably about a year. Now, what made me upset with them? One night I had went through a drive-through, and so the girl was handing me my food. She wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, because I was actually like putting my card up or whatever. And so when I went to go get it, she let go of it and it fell. Right? Okay, that's fine. So I was like, my food just fell. And so she's like looking down. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. You bet you better make me
And
another
then
one.
I said, well, I need food. I just
Yeah.
need my food. And so a guy comes out and he comes up beside my car. He picks the food up from beside my car and he tries to hand it to me. I said, no. Mm-mm. I said, I'm not taking that food. That food hit the ground. And it sat here for a few minutes while you came out here. I was like, I need fresh food or I need my
Yeah.
money back right now.
Mm-hmm.
I like the one on South Cobb personally. I'll drive to that one. Their food's just fresher. I love the piggy potato. It has the wonderful crunches with the bacon and the pork, and it's just really good when I do my cheat days. So I don't go to the one in Hiram anymore because, like I said, when I saw them stomping around in a trash can and walking right back in the food, I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
Haven't been able to go back.
Yeah, because then it make you wonder, like, because what I saw with the Waffle House, how I know they sometimes the stuff be a little dirty looking, but I'm
Yeah,
like, maybe because it's greasy, they dealing with all that. But I like when I
now
saw that,
you're
I'm like,
like
it made me wonder, like, is it dirty because y'all keep jumping in and out
garbage.
that trash can or what?
It's gross. I mean, and no, and we take our chances when we go out to eat, but
Mhm.
like I said, when you start seeing stuff like that, and I don't play with seafood. Like we have
Oh,
Mm.
a juicy crab, and I love juicy crab, but there was one in Douglasville that I was going to take my dad to. And when I read the reviews on it, I was like, I can't take my dad to that because they had already talked about how they were there. A few people reported that they had food poisoning at that one. I was like,
mhm.
hell no, and that's the worst thing to get sick off of seafood. So I'm
Right.
gonna go to the one I know has been really good.
Mhm.
So it's just crazy. Like I said, when it comes to food, I really pay attention, and I know my grandfather was in the food business, my dad was in the food business, so I do know how nasty they can be. And my grandfather would bring up things that you would never even think of. Like, for instance, that's why my kids never got to have candy out of the little jar thingies because they never clean them.
Mhm.
It out of the little 25-cent thing
Oh,
and
I
drop
should
and
tear that
watch the
candy up.
ball roll around. They could never enjoy that because my grandfather totally messed up my mind about all the germs that were sitting in there and how old those candies were. So
Yeah.
they
Now,
didn't
Mhm.
I don't
get
know.
to
I ain't think about
experience
it.
that
Yeah.
as a kid.
Now, I don't know if you guys remember. You remember when Hardee's used to sell fried chicken? I was like in high school and they used to do that. So I used to like Hardee's.
Mine
I don't
still
really like
sell it.
Hardee's. Huh?
Mine still sell it. One. We have one location that still
And
sells
it
chicken.
was actually good. The chicken was
It's
really
still
good.
good. I don't care what you say.
Yeah. I remember a couple people that I went to high school with worked at Hardee's. And so they were always like, don't drink the iced tea. We never clean the iced tea
She's
urn.
not talking about the chicken, or are
No, I'm
you?
not
Not
talking
talking
about the
about the
chicken.
chicken.
No, I'm
Look,
just saying
not talking
I
about the
used
chicken.
to
Okay,
like
go
Hardee's
ahead.
because of the chicken.
Uh-huh.
However, there is one thing at Hardee's I will not take. And like now, I don't really like Hardee's anymore. I will not take a sweet tea from there. Now that I learned this, once I had learned that, they were like,
Oh,
we
Well,
never
they
there's
clean.
don't
like
clean the
there was
soda
a
thing. It's expensive. Yeah.
there's a new Jamaican place over here in Powder Springs, and they had I was driving a Taco Bell, and their freaking that juice fountain thing that has like the lemonade and the peach or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it was
Right.
still sitting in there brewing overnight. I was like, ah! I don't eat there anyway, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, how long has oh
Yeah.
like how do you leave that running overnight? Then it was closed. There was nobody there. So,
Mm,
Yeah.
it wasn't cleaned out that night, and more than likely they used it the next day. And how often do you do that?
mm,
Yeah.
That's just cold germs brewing in your drink.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, like you see with Nini, I don't like when I get water and stuff, I don't have ice.
We don't.
I've started bringing in my own bottled waters just because when you really look how people handle those ice machines, they're not the cleanliness. And
Mm.
again, like another petri dish of germs in the ice just brewing. I just think, have you know Osmosis Jones?
I don't think I want to know. Look, I'm about to hit that shine on you on this. Don't tell me about the ice.
Ice don't
I
carry
can't
germs,
drink no
though.
warm soda.
I was always taught ice don't carry germs. So
Ice don't carry germs. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, let's not even talk about the ice because it's no way I can't get my drinks without ice.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes me comfortable is alcohol because I know alcohol kills germs.
She was like everything on the rocks that day.
I
She
can
was
get
like, I ain't had ice
that
in my drinks
because
in a while. Put it
I
on the
know that
rocks.
bourbon that killed the germs on the ice.
Bourbon on the rocks, gin on the rocks.
But look, she
Everything
is
on the
not
rocks.
getting drunk. She's just cleaning herself very well.
That's what it is. Tell it to the
ice, and she
officer.
knew that's
No,
the
I'm
only way
not
she
drunk,
Yeah.
got
Mr.
ice.
Officer.
Yeah, I'm not drunk. I've been cleansing my interior.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly. That's what you need to start telling people.
You wake up taking shots. I'm not an alcoholic. My insides really do need to be flushed and clean.
I'm more healthy than you. I'm more healthy
I'm
than
killing
you.
COVID.
Yeah. I don't want COVID, so I'm getting the alcohol.
Nah,
in my
don't say
throat.
that now. Don't say that. People gonna use that now.
I know.
I know, because we already had somebody on TV suggesting people can ingest bleed. You know?
Well, you can ingest vodka. You can ingest bourbon. And those are known factors to kill germs. They pour it on wounds.
Look at that.
However, if they're
I was on my 12th
rolling
step.
over and taking shots
I was on
every
my
morning,
12th step. Now I
chances
got
are
to
they
go
probably
back
are
to number one.
alcoholics.
I know.
Don't believe that lie, but just know.
No, they are killing the COVID early in the morning. They've been asleep. They probably feel like COVID could have marinated in their mouth.
In
So
their
they,
nose, yeah. And I'm gonna go take a shot.
You better go use mouthwash and call it a day.
Well, I did hear that they do use Listerine, like when they're on sets now. The actors and stuff, when they have kissing scenes, they use Listerine to kill germs in their mouth.
You know, I don't blame them because, like, yeah, nowadays I wouldn't want to kiss. But you know, a lot of soap operas, they've been bringing in the spouses to be the doubles for kissing scenes.
What?
Ah, that's a good idea. But yeah, I heard that on TV where the actors that they have to constantly keep a bottle of mouthwash now for when they do their makeout scenes and stuff.
What if it's all the spouses bringing all the people bringing their spouse in, the spouse finds out about it and realize like, wait, y'all do that because I ain't never came in for no scene. And you always kissing in your shows. Like, man, I don't like you. I don't like you. I want to kiss you. I don't.
Yeah. That's probably the best kiss they get is on TV. They're like, dang, I didn't know you kissed like that.
You kissing extra passionately.
You know?
You don't kiss me like that.
That's a whole nother game right there.
Yeah. Or I've always also thought about it like, let's say you were intimate, you had a sexy night with your spouse, they're an actor, then the next day you see them kissing, and I know they're pretend having sex, but like, does that make you feel weird? Like,
Are
they? Your mouth being like,
oh, are they pretending to have sex?
No, and if you think about it, like, especially like, I didn't even really think about that period, but I mean, people go home, you don't know what they did when they went home and where their mouth was, and then the next day you kissing. Yeah, I'd be like, wait.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's how I start thinking about, like, you know, because you know, Hollywood is very progressive, I guess, with you know, LGBTQU LMNOP community. They have, you know, so when you have an actual gay male kissing a regular, you know, a female, I do think about that, like he's gay. And
but you know what actually made me start thinking about stuff like that? Reese, I'm about to tag you in. When we went to a male strip club and there was a male stripper that smelled like he had just got it on.
Yeah.
And then that started making me think like, okay, well, I guess, I mean, who hasn't had sexual relations before they went to work one morning or whatever? What if an actor had to deal with that? Like, all of a sudden, in a love scene with a woman and she smells like she just had sex.
Yes.
I don't think I could do it.
Like I said, you know, everything, they're trying to make sure that people who are gay are really gay, or, you know, really trans, they're really trans, and all that stuff in their shows that they do now. And it's just like, as a straight man, you're kissing a gay man who gives head. Now
You
you
could
get
have
that.
gave some head right before your scene.
You know, like I just feel like
They
Like
had
his
those
boyfriend
look at how that
trailers.
works.
I've seen those
boyfriend just left.
trailers. They're
Yeah.
nice.
See,
Yeah.
that's not chapped. My lips not chapped. I ain't got
Yeah.
chapped. We get some chapped. We get some
They're
chapped.
Like,
like, did
cut,
you
bring
take
in
a
his
nap
boyfriend.
right before our scene? Why do you have this?
Exactly. Or you could do vice versa. You're a gay man kissing a straight man who likes going down on hoo ha.
And that's what you
Yeah,
smell when
you've
you get
had
in there.
hoo
Like,
ha.
Yeah. Like, you know I don't like this.
cut.
Why you got your breath smelling like
You know,
this?
like what's that fish smell?
Mhm.
So it's just I'm just finding it fascinating. Like you're totally opening yourselves to whole new things. And of course, as I get older, I do think about all that when you're dating and all that stuff. It's just like, oh, how many times did you do this to who else? How many am I kissing? Da, da, da. Like, just gets to be a whole stressful episode
All
because
right.
you
Well,
do.
I guess that was our show today. Do y'all have any other comments or anything about the show?
It's so funny. I always think the show that we do is going to be so short because it didn't seem like there was a lot, and here we are two
Yeah.
and a half hours later.
Yeah, well, I was kind of disappointed with it too, because
Yeah.
we had to wait 2 weeks to get
For that.
what we see. Yeah, we could have saw this. They could have showed that stuff
They
last.
could have crammed it into this episode. We should have seen the wedding.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see the wedding. I want to see what is Christiana gonna do, because apparently she's gonna run out on John. And then there was another scene that they're dragging too.
Brittany, no.
Oh, Brittany and Ray and Sean and Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're secret.
So like it was
all
full
that
of
good stuff.
cliffhangers. That they did exactly what we don't like. Like
Right.
Yeah.
And then
We
I
have-
bet you anything when we start watching it next week, it's going to be things that could have easily been resolved in an hour and a half episode season finale
Right.
with their 10-minute commercial breaks.
Is it so next week is the season finale?
Yeah, next week
Yes,
is the season
it's the season
finale.
finale.
And then on January 7th, that's when Love During Lockup.
Where we can finally watch how someone falls in love with someone in prison.
Yeah, how this mess starts.
But look, as they turn on the ring light, we're like, go cut.
Go away, yes. We don't want to see you having that.
But no on WeTV.
I know.
You'll see the back of the head with the legs up.
Right.
I might see more than that by accident. Like, no.
Like, damn it. I did not want to see that person in that position.
Yeah, because they almost gave us a naked shot of Sean. Who wants to see Sean naked? I don't remember that being a thing. So why are y'all showing us him getting out the shower? Deontes, I kind of could understand because Deontes does have a nice body, but at the same token, I wasn't asking for that.
Yeah,
I wasn't looking for that.
For me.
No. It's like, and then you can't unsee stuff, so it's like,
right.
Don't do that to
Stuck seeing it.
Wait, speaking of, this is like off subject, and it's not about the show, but this is what happened today at the mall, and I'm like, first of all, there was it was a girl. I swear this because she was getting out her parents' vehicle. I'm assuming it was because it was a minivan. Might not have been her parents, but I'm assuming it was. So like 2 girls got out, and like we get out the car, and I'm walking. And I was like, did anybody else see what I just saw? I'm like, that was so upsetting. First of all, that her parents let her come out like that, and the second of all, what I saw. So first of all, the girl had a mini skirt that like basically just covered, a tootie top. Like, I'm like, dude, that mess, the wind blow the wrong way, you already exposed completely. So I'm like, I don't understand this, why kids is walking around like that anyways. And then I don't know why she did it, but I guess she dropped something and she bent all the way over. And I look up and I'm like, I can't even unsee that. Like, why are you doing that, chick? Like, have some respect for yourself. It's one thing if you didn't realize, and I say because one time I went to go pick up my dog's waist. When I bent down, I'm like, oh snap. I did not know my dress was that short. You know what I'm saying? You didn't realize it because it wasn't just barely covering. It's just that when I bent down, I really didn't think squat. I just really just saw like, oh, bent down. And I'm like, please tell me nobody saw that or their cameras didn't record that because that's embarrassing. But this chick knew that that skirt barely covered anything for you to even walk. Like I feel like even switching the wrong way, you catch a glimpse of something.
Right.
Why is you bending straight down? I was like, and it wasn't like it was the whole thing was just out, and I was like, didn't
Well, that's
like
like
none of y'all saw that. But the funny part too was like as I walk it up, I'm like none of y'all, and then I almost fell. So I like let me stop. I said God didn't like me being like that.
question. That's like with working out, and women in their leggings.
Oh,
And you're
see
bent
through.
over in a what's the name, and I see all of it. And I'm like, do you really not know that your leggings weren't made for working out? And we actually had that happen. Me and my daughter, we're sitting there at Michael's, and this lady has on regular leggings with a short shirt, and she dropped something, bent over, saw it all. And I was like, should we go up and tell her that her pants are see through? Like, do you not really know with leggings that they're that thin?
She has stockings on. She wrong.
Yeah, she had straight stockings on. I'm telling you, girl. I was like you just totally gave us a porn shot.
Yeah. That's how
Do
I
you
feel. I'm
walk up
like,
to
damn.
people? How would you feel if somebody came to you and said, "Hey, I just want you to know, I saw that you have on Betty Boop underwear."
Well, it
Like, oh,
depends. Because
okay.
at the university, we was in the calf. Well, I was in the calf, and the
Oh, at
young
the
lady,
university, you see all kinds of stuff.
yeah, and the young lady was sitting down, and I happened to be walking by, and as I walked by, I can see everything, the whole crack of the butt. So I walked up to her and I tapped on the shoulder. It's like, you might want to fix that because everybody can see your business, and I just kept it moving. So I guess it depends on how you say it and how quick you get away from them. Because
Yeah.
everybody can't take that
I was like,
embarrassment.
dude, and I mean, in workouts, I'm just like, man, you're killing my groove because and now I'm following you, and every time you bend over and I look up, I see ass. So I start turning sideways or turn backwards, and I'm just like, especially with this one chick, she wears the same freaking leggings all the damn time, and I'm like, how is it you can't see through that? You
Maybe
really,
she
no
like that.
one's
Maybe she
telling
want
you.
them to
You
see
really
it.
have no clue, or you just because we're around women and random men here and there that you're just like,
That's what
oh,
I was
y'all
about to
can
say.
see my
Sometimes
titties.
they know it, but they're like, "Oh, I'm about to be around a bunch of women. Oh, I'm about to be around my kids. Oh, I'm about to." People make strange excuses for that.
That's like with me, like this morning, with workouts, I was jumping around and running back and forth in place, working out, whatever, and my bra busted. But yeah, of course I'm in there with a bunch of women. But do you think I want them seeing my boobs flopping all over the
Oh
place?
well.
No. I
Right.
ran right over there and started what's name. I didn't keep running and holding up my boobs and making it obvious that I had
You
an
ain't just
issue
pull it through
going
the
on. I
sleeve and
just
was like,
ran up,
forget it.
lifted back up, and kept back coming in. I was like, oh my gosh. That's how you knew I was working out harder today. I actually hit almost 300 calories almost in 30 minutes. So I knew I was working out harder.
Nice.
Try to get ready for my birthday. But anyway.
Right. Well, that was maybe the last 30 minutes weren't, but that was last night's episode of Life After Lockup. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching. When you leave out of the room, make sure you hit that like button and also go ahead and subscribe so that you'll know when we go live. Alrighty. And as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, bye.
Bye.